All right, mic check, mic check. Oh man, literally just jumped out of the shower, guys. Just jumped out of the shower. What's up? How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good night. What a start to the week we're having. I might have my shirt on backwards. No, I don't. We're all good. Oh, we're echoing. Okay, there we go. Now we're settled in, right? Thanks for being here, guys. What a day. What a time we're having. Being involved in GameStop. Whether you're just trading it, investing in it, you're just watching it. If you're here right now, I would say you're generally speaking involved with it, right? And what a journey it's been. I cannot believe they completed the share offering within a couple of days. Like, that's actually insane. So, Negative Banana, what's up? What's up? When Moon, did we win? Time will tell, brother. Time will tell. Thanks so much for being here. GameStop is PSA, TG, they're awesome. Yeah, listen, they have tons of PSA cards. I was literally just looking, excuse me, like earlier today when I was supposed to be working. I'm like, let's see what kind of cards they have right now, right? Let me check on that real quick. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Hey, what's up? What's that? Explicit? What up? Let's go. 4 billion in the bank. Crazy did 75 million. We're already back at 30. Yeah, Ryder, exactly. I literally just put out a tweet on that too. Started trying to throw out all these tweets and a bunch of things to talk about today. But look at this. The stock is up 200% still from its lows, right? If you bought the very bottom, they would have diluted 120 million shares. And they're still up 200%. They're still at $30 a share right now, which is truly crazy to think about. Like, if you had told me that on May 1st or whenever the rally exactly started, which it kind of lines up perfectly when the month of May started, I would have said, no way, you're crazy. There's no way that's going to happen, right? Where they're going to do 2 share offerings to full completion. The first one finished within 6 trading days. The next one finished within 3 trading days. And the bigger one was finished within 6 trading days. It's actually insane. So, what a journey this is. And I was just in a spaces before this. I don't know if any of you were there. A lot of interesting stuff going on there. I don't do too many Twitter spaces, so I'll do them here and there. And I got invited to it. So I was like, all right, I'll hop in. Why not? Dizzy invited me. Shout out to her. I'm sure you guys have seen her on X. So I was like, all right, I'll hop in real quick. But a lot of action in there, and I kind of distracted. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to shower before the stream. I got to shower real quick. So I literally click start, let everything start loading, let the countdown start, full speed, shower, shower, shower. And then I had it on my phone. Like, that's why I started echoing. I was like, oh, I have a minute. I have a minute till I'm live. I got to get down there. I got to get down there. And here we are. And then after this, I'm going to have headset head. So I'll have to shower again tomorrow morning. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We're going to talk about how AMC can partner with GME. No, we are not, brother. No, we are not. I know you're just trolling, man. But, oh, man, some ladies talking about it. Maybe you can expand. Yeah, listen. There's people out there who think, oh, it's the same play. You know, you shouldn't you can't argue, or Roaring Kitty's trying to tell us, no fighting, and there's signs and the movies in his tweets. And I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, everyone's going to want to do what they do. I'm truly a believer in making your own individual decisions and deciding how you want to go about things with your own money. Like, I really am a proponent of that, or just believer in it. And that is how it should be, right? Everyone's got to do what they're going to do. But the unfortunate reality of it is what AMC's done to its shareholders is just burn them over time. And the forced association with GameStop, as I just said, it feels very forced, number one. And number two, they're just in 2 totally different spots, 2 totally different business models. If there wasn't such a thing suddenly as meme stocks, right? And this fake category that was basically created and is still here to this day, post January 2021, 3.5 years later. If you told me 3.5 years ago that you'd be able to look up meme stocks and there's headlines like every single day, or headlines even before a lot of people started talking about things again these past couple of months. Oh yeah, like meme stocks. Everyone knows that category, meme stocks, right? People just memeing in, right? Making memes and buying in. And it's so much more than that, right? Like, it really is so much more. And, or I should say, GameStop is so much more than that, right? To me, there's GameStop and then there's meme stocks. And that's just how I see it. That's not to say you can't potentially trade those other stocks. But for me, as a long-term investor, just been dollar cost averaging this whole time, right? And that's where I feel very good where I'm at currently, where I'm pretty much just buying and holding, right? So it's so many different tabs going on here. And I messed it up again, guys. I had it figured out. I had it locked. And then for the screenshot I wanted to take, see, look, the chart is all messed up now. But that's all right. What a wild past couple weeks. And this is the daily one. That's really why I was taking the screenshot. Like, when in doubt, zoom out. Like, again, I kind of got rid of it when I took that picture. And quick side note, the candles, we opened down here. We touched as low as 2022. Oh my gosh, almost defaulted to talking about years. But we started around 24. We touched nearly 20, low about 23. and then we close almost at the high of the day, around 30. And in the post market here, we see it's actually down a little bit after hours, which is pretty interesting. But again, not a huge TA guy, but just right. This is a pretty general line. Looks like we're still in a pretty general uptrend, I would say. Some people are saying it's like a cup and handle pattern. It's going to go like whoop, and we'll see, right? We'll have to see about that. Nothing's, I think, for certain. While it's very exciting to see that they completed the share offering, I'm always here to remind you, like, this journey's had so many ups. Whoa. And look at that. Speaking of ups, S&P 500, new all-time high today, right? Crazy. But this journey's had so many ups and downs, and every time you think one thing's going to happen, a lot of times it winds up being another, right? So you got to just always kind of be like mentally ready for anything with GameStop. And that's definitely something I've learned over these past several years. But right here is when the share offering announcement, or the share offering was announced to be completed. We touched a high of $32 in the after hours. So not as big of a move as last time. But at the same time, it's like, it seems like around in here, right? Someone figured out, or someone got word that, when I say someone, not like a particular person or institution, but you could see it got priced in that the share offering was complete. So someone knew something, or the market just knew, however you want to think about it, right? But it basically got priced in, whereas last time when the share offering was complete. Oh, this is annoying me about this stupid chart. If someone knows how to fix it, let me know, because isn't it just like you lock it? I'm still a newbie to trading view here. Shouldn't this be good? See, that's not right. But that's all right. We're going to figure it out, guys. We're going to figure it out. So last time, the share offering was announced to be completed in the Friday after hours here. And then the stock gapped up the next day, right? Because it was announced to be starting right in here, like right, Friday morning, and it was announced. So that's why you had a gap down. And then you had a big gap up. So over here, we had the share offering announced again Friday morning. And initially, we had a gap down, right, because this is where the stock opened. It got all the way back as high as about $48, $47. I think it was exactly 48. And then it dropped all the way down the close of the day at 28. And then Monday went down quite a bit more. We still had a lot of volume. And then today, whoop, so it got priced right in. So we're not really, we could still see a gap up tomorrow. I'm not saying that's totally impossible, but I'm just saying how it's different than last time, where on the day of, right, the final day of the offering last time, we didn't see like a big move, and we saw more so a gap up over the weekend. But also that was a little bit different because that took 6 days. This one only took 3, right? And to me, that's crazy, because if you think about it, the stock is still up 200% from its lows, like from its low of $9.95 to $30 right now. It's still up 200%. And the second offering was able to be completed even faster than the first share offering. And the first share offering was 45 million. The second share offering was 75 million. And if you told me a couple months ago this was going to be coming, I would have said, what are you talking about? This is crazy. And Roaring Kitty would be back, and all these different things we've been having these past couple months, like really more so a month and a half. It really started actually perfectly, pretty much. Like, it actually lines up nearly perfect where the bottom is to be the start of May. So really from May to present, so about the last month and a half, 45 days or so, has truly been, I would say, the most up and down and action-packed time for GameStop since January 2021, to be honest with you. And that's just how I see it. I think a lot of other people are kind of seeing that too, but what a time to be alive, right? Crazy. We've got to keep hitting the chat here. Let's go. So T, where you see us going from here? Chad, honestly, I would like to think up, right? And because also with the share offering being complete, you understand, like, at this point they have, and I'll get to this more later, but they have about $9, I think 62 cents per share in cash. So really, I can never see it going low as $10 again, unless something dramatic happens. It's not, of course, it's not possible. Anything's possible in the saga, and that's what I was going to get to next. That where it seems like we're still in a general uptrend, right? Just looking very simply at the chart, not doing any complex technical analysis, not using RSI, MACD, or anything of that nature, right? But you see a general uptrend, and then also now 2 share offerings have been complete in here. So they're not issuing any more shares right now. Sure, could they do a third one? I mean, we were talking about that on the space a little bit too, and I'm like, at this point, management team executed these well. They didn't do it back here, right? They could have did it back here, and it could have killed the stock price. It could have went to like $7 or $8, maybe even $6, if they had announced it back here. They chose to do it during this time period. So If management so chooses to do it again at this point, I believe in them to make the right decision. I'm not saying I want to see that, but I'm just saying, like, again, you got to expect the unexpected with GameStop. You never truly know what's going to happen in this saga. And having said that, who knows? Well, it seems like, oh yeah, it should start trending up now. Maybe we break back down here and we float back into the 20s. But then I think if we go back into the 20s, a lot more buyers come in, right? Because there's definitely people trading this. Like, I know I have friends that are more so traders. Like, they're really not interested in just buying and holding GameStop. And I tell them, like, listen, you might regret that. That's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you guys know I'm not in the business of giving financial advice. I'm just here to share personal thoughts and opinions, and that's just how I rock and roll. If you could drop a like, much appreciated. Follow me on X at TetronInvest so you can see when I'm streaming. Usually I try and do Monday and Wednesday, but this week I had said on Monday, like, I tweet like a little schedule out at the start of each week, or post, right? Because technically it's not Twitter anymore. But actually worked out good, where I was like, okay, I'm going to stream Monday, Tuesday this week. And the share offering was complete. I'm like, I'm glad I'm streaming tonight and not tomorrow, because then I probably would have had to do an emergency one tonight anyway. But I got to make sure I keep getting organized and taking care of other things in my life too, because still my desk is a mess. And there's just been so much going on with GameStop lately. I'm trying to follow it all. So, congrats everyone. And game, what up, what up? Groove, Tetron, hope you're doing well. Groove, yes sir. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you popping in. Hit that like button. Yes sir. Namac gets it. Thank you for being here. I think we pushed all-time highs this week into next. Love Stars, I don't think it's totally impossible, but at the same time, you never know with the stock, right? You never know. So when you're playing options, just be very careful. Know your risk appetite. Never put in more than you can afford to lose, and just know thyself. AMC, oh my gosh. Yeah, AMC, crazy, crazy. Meeting past 90 plus. Yeah, Love Stars. I think we'd have to go to split adjusted. Let's see, and this doesn't account for pre-market. Split adjusted, the all-time high is 120, but if you account for pre-market, I think it's even higher, because at one point, I think on this day of, or during this week rather, like the all-time high, if you include pre-market, was like in the 140s, like split adjusted. So, and the weekly chart also still looking very good, and I would say in a general uptrend. The first, significant move out of, the Dorito of Doom, as Badass Trader calls it. Shout out to him. We've been in this long uptrend, or sorry, downtrend for such an elongated period of time, and we've had, jumps here and there and there and there, little one here, little baby one here, and finally, this is the first major move we've seen outside of it, and the most people are talking about GameStop right now than any time in recent memory. But again, I'm just here to tell you, you never know what's going to happen in the short term, so always be mentally prepared for anything. I think that's so important. That's definitely something I've learned over time. 4 billion in cash, fresh maker, yes sir, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy how much cash they have. And to show you guys, as we're on the topic of cash here, so 962 per share in cash, or actually I have it all right here, right? We'll get through the chat really quick, and then we're gonna go through all of this right here. Touch on it, everyone's sub has the boss. What up? What up? Thanks for being here. Katie hasn't even exercised. Exactly, Love Stars. We don't have a YOLO update yet, so we'll see if we get one. Did we get one? Someone let me know if we did. Maybe I missed. I don't think so. There's been too much going on, but hope this guy's in 30 minutes late. Like the other guy, no sir, no sir. Yeah, that other guy that was like 28 minutes late to his stream when CNBC was putting him on there and he was trolling them, right? But big steps taken today. Let's go. Jackson 610. Yes sir. Crazy. It is what it is. We green baby. Yes sir. That's why I had the green face on the on the what's it called, thumbnail. So 4 billion the big David E. Thanks for being here. Do you think it will open tomorrow above or under 30? Explicit. Those of you that know me, no, I'm not great with short-term price predictions, but I'd like to think we're going to open higher. If anything, I think if we are going to end the day down, I think it'll probably open higher and then slowly trickle down. We've seen that a lot of times in the past, but I like to think tomorrow's going to be a green day, but again, take that with a grain of salt. I don't truly know. Tetron, what do you think of Jenny? Oh, Endgame, you were there? Oh, man, I don't know. She cared a lot about AMC and GME being the same. I'll just leave it at that. And I quickly shared my opinion on it, and her and Morantz were really going at it towards the end there. And I'm a newbie to spaces, so I feel like I should have jumped in a little bit more, but hindsight's always 2020, right? And just got some interesting insight, and I don't know, it's interesting for someone who claims she worked on Wall Street. Like, it's just interesting opinions. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know, right? But I don't know her that well. In fact, I never knew who she was prior to that. But she just really was like, oh, like AMC, it's appearing in the movies in his posts, and I'm like, he's literally a pure GME elitist. Like, look at his position. And I think Dizzy was the one that said it in the call. She brought up a great point where we're at a point now where people have kind of just picked what they want to be, and it's not so much so like, yeah, we're just buying all these stocks that they're shorting to get back at them, right? Like, I feel like that general narrative has shifted away from I like this stock, and if it's gonna hurt people betting against it, so be it, right? And I feel like it's more about fundamentals now and the business evolving, and just the stories of just like the stories evolved, like a lot of individuals' approaches have evolved, right? But of course, you can't speak for everyone ever. Like everyone's always an individual, right? But generally speaking, I feel like there's been a shift away of like, oh yeah, like we got to buy it all, get back to them, and it's like look at what AMC is doing, and Morantz was presenting facts. That's all I can say. You know, whether you agree with some of the stuff he says or not, or you like him or not, like he was, in my opinion, strictly presenting facts in terms of what AMC is and what's been going on with it. But crazy. Noise, Tetra and I just buy and hold. Can you explain why the price drops when they announced the dilution, but goes up after they reveal the cash they raised? Did we expect this last week? So, Groove, yeah, I think when they offer the shares, right, it's like, okay, like right here, it's like, okay, well, they're going to dilute, so the price is going to drop. And it kind of gets like priced in by the market. And then right in here, I think they start selling some shares. And then I think they kind of finish selling shares. Any remaining shares to be sold were probably in the morning today. And I think someone kind of figured that out. Or like I said, the market kind of started pricing in. And that's why we saw this move like later on in the day. DCA, dollar cost averaging, GME is legit. My retirement plan. Listen, Ryder, yeah, anyone who's been dollar cost averaging has a good average and is likely in the green at this point in time. For me, to be honest with you guys, it's hard to know exactly because I have it in various accounts. I have traditional IRA, Roth IRA, brokerage, DRS, separate brokerage, right? So a lot of different spots where my shares are. So I truly don't know my average cost, but generally all of them look pretty green. And what's it called? Computer share doesn't tell you like your average cost unless you go in and calculate it. And there were so many times I transferred like 2 shares, 3 shares, 2 more shares, right? So it'd be taking such a long time to dollar cost average it. I think I did it a while back, and I truly don't remember what the number was. And then also since I did that, I added more shares, right? So I'll have to try and look for that at some point. But no such thing as a meme stock, the terms created by legacy media and hedge funds to attempt to control retail sentiment. Michael, you were spitting facts in the chat right there. I couldn't agree more. Moves take time to develop. Exactly. Some of it's gamma and hedging. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna get to that. Yeah, the gamma. Oh man, chat's moving so fast. Tetron, just some more insight on the Tetron Jackie. Dick, Dick to many. He claims you tweeted questioning his for pay Discord without even showing his face. He took it as an attack on his heart. Listen, Keenan, he just blasted me, and before that, right? He just said, "Oh, don't associate me with these people." Like just like talking down to him. Like I don't even know who this guy is. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna throw some shade back. But listen, it's water under the bridge. Like we can let it go. It's not that big a deal. And we do two totally different things. Like he likes to trade. I like to just kind of look at fundamentals and focus on the long term. But again, I didn't mean to offend him in any which way with that. But to me, I think like if you're gonna go on and talk about stuff, like you should show your face. That's just my opinion. But in terms of like doing like a YouTube channel, but you know, not everyone has to do that. And just because it's my opinion doesn't mean it's always correct, right? So to me, it could be water under the bridge. If he wants to let it go, we could let it go. It is what it is. Like it's not a big deal. Unimaginable upward pressure. I need a stock prediction to join. Team to join. Listen, explicit for me. I'm not the right guy for stock predictions. In the short term, I've been wrong many times before, so just know that. Oop. Beef is lame. Drink your water. Diamond feet. W Tetron. Exactly, Keenan. Exactly. I'm not gonna. Drama's stupid. Drama's stupid, right? So it's literally fine. Like I'm not ever gonna go out of my way. You know what I'm saying? Like you're asking me about it, so I'm commenting on it, but I'm not ever gonna go out of my way like, oh, this guy, right? Like that's just me. But is it legal to trade on different brokers at the same time? Absolutely, explicit. Absolutely. You can definitely do that. You're allowed to have as many brokerages account as you want. You can have a lot of different positions in different places. For me, I personally just choose to use Fidelity because it's easier just to have it all in one spot. But also with Fidelity, like I have two separate brokerage accounts that are just regular accounts. And I have a traditional IRA, I have a Roth IRA, so I have various accounts within my Fidelity account. And that's like a nice part of it for me. Question a month ago about Ryan Cohen diluting his answer a few times now. I had a feeling he would do it and pay for long-term dividends. David, it's possible, but I don't know if we're going to see dividends yet. I think they got to evolve the business before we see that. So, everyone and their mom wants to get into GME because I can. It does seem like that time. Keenan, the Uno cards. Yes, sir. Dirty Bird. What up, what up? Falcons, Steelers. Let's see it in the Super Bowl, man. I'm going to say it every time you see you. What's your favorite trend you've seen in GME that indicates upward movement? So for me, I would say a favorable trend is, it's not necessarily a trend, but just looking at the price, the fact that it was able to hold up this well. Like, this isn't the greatest picture that I took here. I just kind of did this fast before. Refresher real quick. Okay, I thought it was going to come in clearer, but GameStop daily candlestick since May 2024. So they did 200% in price improvement, right? Like the stock went up 200% from its low of about $10 all the way up to 30. And they raised $3.1 billion dollars on 120 million shares issued. And yet the price is still able to hold up that well. To me, that is extremely bullish. And it just shows, in my opinion, like I was thinking about this today, Ryan Kitty and Ryan Cohen, I don't think they're colluding and thinking about this information, but I think they both understand patterns with the stock in their own various ways. Where Ryan Kitty didn't just he's did the stream, feed into the mainstream media, right? Like, oh yeah, like I'm just a silly cat, right? Like, he's not a cat, he said during that congressional hearing, but I think he's kind of feeding into the narrative, like, oh yeah, like I'm just this YOLO investor, right? Silly me, like we're dumb money, I'm dumb money, right? Like he fed into that, but either he's a time traveler, that is a theory, or he knows something, or he truly understands how the stock works better than anybody else, and he didn't just randomly choose to load up on call options right now. I truly believe that. I don't think he just randomly chose this particular time. And what's crazy is, since he's been in the calls, because if I'm pretty sure if you look back from when the call started to be purchased, I think it was like right here, and if it was right here, that's like right when he started buying the calls. So he started buying the calls right after the previous round of dilution, and during more dilution, like he held them through 75 million shares of dilution, which again, by the way, 3 day span, guys. This is crazy. They announced it in the pre-market on Thursday, or I'm sorry, on Friday. Friday we see a big move down. That's the day of the stream. Wow, it's crazy. Sometimes time moves fast, sometimes it moves slow. I feel like the stream was like weeks ago at this point for some reason, but it was not that long ago at all. And then Monday, we see another slight drop. Kind of holds this $22 level. At the lowest, it was $22.79, or say $23 level. And then we go into Friday, drop in the morning. I was like, okay. Or I think maybe that was the low of $22.79. I'm like, okay, we could go lower. And then we bounce back decent. And we kind of start moving sideways. And I'm like, all right. And then into the afternoon, when we started running, I'm like, this share offering has to be complete. Why else would this thing start running right now? So it's crazy. It took them under 3 days, if you think about it, to complete the share offering. And 75 million. It's 75 million shares, raising 2.1 billion in a 3 day span. Show me another company that can do that and still be up 200% over the past 45 days or so. And on top of it, have had another dilution period, right? Like, so this is a summary. They now have $9.62 per share in cash. The company now has approximately 4.15 billion in cash equivalents, marketable securities, and they've issued 75 million shares over the past 3 trading days at an average price of $28.49, which is just crazy to think about, right? Given that they literally just raised 933 million on 45 million shares issued, and at that point they had 570 per share in cash, and they had 2 billion total. So, and this is what the last one looks like. If you guys were here last time, you saw I've showed this graphic a little bit. So they announced the share offering on May 17th in the pre-market. Big drop off, pretty much moved sideways. I thought stock would honestly move down more so during this phase, besides with the exception of like Thursday into Friday. The stock really didn't move down too much. And then it bounced right back, right? When post-market, GameStop completes share offering. And that was only 6 trading days, and that was 45 million shares. That alone was impressive, but to do 75 million shares in 3 trading days, and again, this time at an average price of $28.49, so you can get an idea of the average price they were selling at. So I think they sold a good chunk of them in here, but then another good chunk, on the way down here and over here. And I would imagine, if I had to guess, I'd say a decent amount, because this right here is when Roaring Kitty pretty much started streaming, right? Coincidence? I don't know. You could have whatever opinion you want on that, but there's definitely speculation there. It's like, oh, when Roaring Kitty said certain things, like suddenly halt. And there's 2 sides, right? There's some people saying that halts are simply limit up, limit down. It's predetermined. It's been a rule in place for years. And then the other side is saying, well, no, it's way too coincidental at the points it happens. But for me, I think it's a little bit of both. And I've seen very few people kind of touch on this in between. I was saying it a little bit last time where I think the rules are in place, right? The limit up, limit down. But these market makers that have so much oversight of the market, they have the ability to see what is going on, right? Like, I don't want to put this, like, they can, if you're putting out the bids and the asks, and if suddenly a lot of asks just disappear or a lot of bids just disappear, that could cause the price to fall out from underneath or run up like that, right? Very quickly, which will trigger halt. So I feel like they know the rules in place. When I say they, I use that very loosely, but just those making the markets, again, very generally, know those rules are in place. And when those rules are in place, they know how to exploit them because also they're the ones making the markets, right? So I think there's a little bit of that going on. I think part of it is just the volatility, but also part of it is, oh, you know what? Let's just stop throwing orders out there right now. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like a little bit of both, right? There's a little bit of suspicious things going on, but it's also a little bit of like, these are just the rules, if that makes sense. I don't think I explained that perfectly, but I feel like you guys got an idea of what I'm saying here. But their balance sheet now is absolutely, I was gonna say iron, but that's the like the worst ore in Minecraft. So I would say diamond. This is like a diamond balance sheet at this point. Diamond hands, as they say. So, yo, Dirty Bird, yo, you're so good to me, brother. You're literally so good to me. Falcons Steelers in the Super Bowl. We're gonna see it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Is it legal? I guess my question. See, can I trade the same stock on two different platforms at the same time? Explicit? Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely can. And really, it's all based on like the platform you're on, right? So if you buy a stock at 20 on Fidelity and then you sell it at 30, you're going to pay taxes, right, on that $10 per share in gain. Let's say if you theoretically did one. If you buy that same stock on Charles Schwab for 25 and then sell it for 30, you pay $5 of it, right? And it's all at the end of the year, you're going to get forms to file with your taxes from each brokerage. So it is entirely separate. And even like when I have Fidelity, I said like I have different accounts with them. I get like a form to file for each account. But the key is like if you just buy and you don't sell anything for the year and you don't collect any dividends of any kind, there is nothing to file. It's only when you sell that there's something to file, or you collect interest or dividends that there's something to file in relation to stocks. XXP, of course. Who was in the space? No name. I think it was Ferdinand. That was his name. I'd never heard, and that's the craziest part. I keep just meeting new people throughout this saga. I thought I had a good amount of people I know, but there's still so many people I don't know. That's what's crazy to me. At Ferdinand 78769, which it looks like he does a bunch of them. Shout out to him. You guys should check him out. Um, let's see. Let's hang with Ferdinand, number 232 with Morant's Rants. So I think he does like a series of them. See, let's see. Does he have another one? I don't know. He's just retweeting all them. But I wonder if, and I was like, wait, why did he retweet this Amy tweet? But I think he's just trolling her, basically, or saying, this episode trolling all of you, and I'm here for it. I don't think she's trolling us, right? But it sounds like it's his own little like podcast kind of thing. So it was pretty interesting. I mean, and I just kind of got invited by Disney. She just sent me a link. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll jump in. Like, I got some time right now, but keep an eye out in the future. Maybe one day I'll host a space. We'll see if I get to that point. I don't know. Spaces are a lot though. You got all kinds of people coming in, and you got to be managing it, and you got to keep the conversation going. And I'm still relatively new to the content game, guys. I know I've been doing things for a couple of years now, but I'm still relatively new to the content game as a whole. So that's just me. But we'll see. Maybe one day I'll do them. And a Q got destroyed by Morantz. Michael, it was crazy. Yeah. Dirty Bird, yes sir. Bird is the word. Bird is the word. I'll chat this tomorrow. It's 2 a.m. Good night, Tetra. Yeah, negative Nanya. I was thinking that when you were here. I'm like, yo, and isn't it so late where this guy is? Like, he's staying up all night to watch me. I'm truly appreciative of that. But yeah, man, get some rest. Catch the videos tomorrow. No, you're good. Okay, Tetra, I just illustrated a super important phenomenon. Equals everyone in computer share literally has lost track of their cost average. Scott, yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I have no idea, honestly, what my cost average is in computer share. That's a very, very good point. Yeah. Do you expect big? Do you expect big moves in AMC? Toe Diamond, touch on a little. I do not. I truly do not. I think they'll just dilute more and screw people over, and you're like, oh well, GameStop's diluting, but GameStop's diluting because they choose to. AMC's diluting because they absolutely have to, and they're desperate at this point. AMC will build up. You'll know when it's the right time to sell. The market moves fast. So listen, not for me. Not for me. Yes, buy all the shares, one discount. Fidelity. Yeah, listen, David, that's what they say. But to me, of all the brokers, I personally choose Fidelity to use. I need $4 to be. I need $40 in AMC to be green. My GME is green now. Exactly, Toe Diamond. Exactly. That's the unfortunate thing that AMC's just diluted so heavily that like you need to catch up. You need to make up so much ground at this point in order to make your money back, and that's why for me GME is the only stock for me. So that's just what they say, and that's what I say. But love to average down, but you can't. Only for GME for me. Exactly. Good night for real. Yeah. Thanks for answering my questions. Of course, explicit. I got you, Ape. I got you. Or explicit 86 AKA. I always try to answer as much as I can in the chat. Chat's moving faster and faster these days. You guys have been awesome, so try my best to keep up with everything. AMC has increased its share count by 1,250% since 2021. And the thing is too, Scott, and you're absolutely right about that. And to build off, people say, oh, well, AMC, it's like the same thing. They were doing private offerings, meaning they were negotiating the offering price off the market, right? This is an ATM, like at the market program. So basically, at the market equity offering program, meaning they're selling the shares into the open market to whoever so choose to buy them. So pretty much just anyone like myself or you watching this or any hedge fund or any institution, right? Anyone can just buy them off the open market. They're being issued into the open market, right? Like they're being sold at an ask essentially. So with AMC, where it was different, it was like they would sell the shares. Like if it was trading at like $7 currently, they would privately negotiate the shares to be sold like 100,000. Let's say, just use a random example, at $6 a piece. So when that gets finalized, the news comes out, it's like, wait, they sold the shares for $6 a piece, so the market prices that in, the price falls from $7 to $6. So that's why an ATM is better than an off the books, or I think it's called a pipe offering, where it's like pretty much like a private one. Let's see, AMC is run by the worst CEO in the universe who dilutes at lows and never at highs. Exactly, Freshmaker, exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, this was brought up in the Spaces call, and I saw it not too long ago also. Shout out KN, aka Market Watch Sucks Donkey Dong on X. I'm sure you guys have seen her, or him, or I don't know. I've seen both. I don't know if it's a gal or guy or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? But they posted recently too, where it's like Adam Aaron was like texting someone who he thought was literally like underage, and he was getting catfished. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, it's horrible. Tetra, do you see them doing another dilution or no? Howdy. Thank you for being here. Honestly, I do not, but at the same time, I didn't expect this one either, right? And this one was done within 3 days, so what I was kind of getting at before I didn't necessarily finish it, where with Ryan Cohen and Roaring Kitty, I think both of them each have very good understanding of what's happening with the stock, where Ryan Cohen didn't just randomly choose to dilute right now. He specifically chose to because, again, the stock held up very well, right? Like the stock is still up 200% from its lows at pretty much like the very end of April to now, despite offering 45 million shares, completing that, and then offering 75 million shares and completing that one as well. So had they done it back here, it would have been much more painful for the company, right? And we probably would have saw the share price fall to like $6, $7 potentially, maybe even $5 if they had decided to do it at like the very lows, right? So they chose particularly now, and it's like, why now? And that's also where I start to think like, what comes next? And also on the other side, right, with Roaring Kitty, again, I don't think these two are colluding in any which way, to be perfectly clear. But with Roaring Kitty, how did he accumulate that much cash, right? And he's been in a hiatus for 3 years, and he had 200,000 shares when he disappeared. Split adjusted, he has 800,000. But then when he comes back, he has 5 million shares and 120,000 call options. So how did he get to that point? How did he at least, let's talk about it, just getting from 800,000 shares to 5 million. That alone is a lot. And then how about all the extra cash in his account and the call options he accumulated? So given that he has short-dated calls right now, I don't think he would have just did that randomly. Again, I was talking about before, like he came on the stream as if like, oh yeah, I'm just on money, right? But like, look at his account. There's no way he accumulated that many shares by just being a goofball, just YOLOing, right? Oh yeah, I just feel like it. Like, so he must see something and understand cycles with the stock in my opinion, better than anyone else. Because I think he was trading it in some way or another, or I've also speculated, who knows, maybe he was trading Nvidia, maybe he was trading any stock, right, throughout this whole time to accumulate the position he has. And also something else has been talked about, that it's like it likely is a Roth IRA account that he keeps showing YOLO updates for. We don't know for sure, but why I think that is that's a post-tax account. So if it's a post-tax account, then he wouldn't be having to pay taxes on his gains each time. Because to get to where he's at with all that money, if it was money in just a regular brokerage, he has to think about taxes, right? So he would have had to make even more and taken some out to pay taxes in 2022, 2023, right? And maybe even 2021 if he was doing some trading in the late part of the year. So I think he was making some trades in some shape or form over these past several years in his hiatus. So I don't know. Nobody truly knows, but he didn't just get that money by accident, right? And I don't think he just so chose to buy those calls just now, just because, right? And that also makes me think, and again, don't trust my short-term predictions. I don't truly know. I'm just a guy on the internet. I'm just like all of you watching this, just trying to piece together the puzzle. But given that his call options expire right here, right? Like where the chart is right now, like where that line is, that's where his call options expire. We have 8 trading days until they do. And it really just has to be above, because his average cost of them is like 4 something. So really the stock price has to be above about $24 for him to be even, I'm pretty sure. So do we go lower than that prior to that? I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine if you're betting against the company, you'd really like that to be the case, number one. And then number two, I don't know. Again, I don't think he just so chose to randomly decide right now to just start buying those calls. So if that's the case, what's coming these next few weeks? It's going to be a busy few weeks, brother, right? Like that one part of it, of his millions of memes, right? And the truth is, nobody knows. That's the reality of this situation. Nobody knows what's going to happen today, tomorrow, the next day. You can believe in what you think is going to happen in the long term, but I truly think in the short term, with the stock, there's all kinds of ups and downs and things we just don't know in the short term. And like hindsight, we might go, oh, okay, well, that's what was going on there. But yeah, so much to talk about, guys. So much has been happening lately. It's crazy. Which price is Roaring Kitty a billionaire? Trailac, I think it's about $70-ish, $80. People say he was briefly a billionaire at the top of right here, right? Because again, this doesn't have the post market, but when we had this jump back here, oh no, sorry, I was in the right spot. I think he was very briefly, technically a billionaire Thursday in late trading, because that after hours I was like having dinner with some people and I just kept checking, trying not to get distracted here, and I'm watching this happen at like 7 p.m. and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I did a quick stream that night and I was like, gotta temper expectations, right? And I was saying right here, I was like, I wish I bought calls. I should have bought calls. Like, and then here I was like, I'm a genius. I didn't buy calls. This is why I don't buy calls, right? And that is generally why I don't buy calls, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen in the short term. It's very stressful. I mean, listen, if you have the risk appetite for it, go for it. But just know, in the short term, this thing is extremely, extremely volatile. And I actually had a friend lucky enough that he picked up calls somewhere in here. So, and my point of saying he's very lucky, where he was able to pick up calls right before the announcement of the dilution being completed and the share offering being completed. So he was very happy to see that. He's like, okay, I think this thing could keep running. And again, he's more of like a short-term trader. So I wish him all the best. I want GameStop to go up a lot just so my buddy can make a bunch on calls. That'd be awesome. Wake me up at 100. Exactly, Dirty Bird. Exactly, man. Exactly. That's what I was saying. My friend was texting, another friend texted, right? 'Cause I have the group chat, the Kava friend, who's like, oh yeah, Kava's such a good stock, right? Um, I love always messing with this guy, but he was saying, like, when GameStop was up 15%, he's like, I'm surprised, no, we haven't heard anything out of Noah yet. I was like, bro, wake me up when we're at triple digits. These moves are nothing. You think I've been in this so long to see these little moves and get excited? Like, yeah, sure, I'll text about it, but it's usually because everyone else starts texting me first in that chat, so. Oh man, chat's moving so fast. So Keith's calls, they've issued more shares. In other words, there's 120 million reasons why Roaring Kitty and Ryan Cohen aren't working together. Exactly, PH, exactly. And another point I'll make quickly with the call options, people think, does he have more cash and he's going to add it, he's going to exercise them all? I honestly could see him selling like 1/4 of them and then exercising the remaining amount, because even if he exercises just 1/4 of them, right? Or sorry, 3/4 of them. So 90,000 of the 120,000. He sells 30,000 of them. That 90,000 calls would give him 9 million additional shares plus his, 5 million. He'd be at 14 million shares right now. And that would just be crazy. That would be insane. He'd have just a whale position. And another thing people were speculating on, so Ryan Cohen no longer has 8.6%. And I have to look into the details on what I'm about to say next year, so please take it with the utmost grain of salt because, again, everything's just happening so fast lately. I'm trying to keep up with everything, trying to make sure I got the most accurate information possible. But if Ryan Cohen's now below a 10% owner of GameStop, because now he has 8.6% after dilution, that's where we have the 13D that came out. If that's the case, let's say he buys up another, let's just say 3 million shares, which would be less than 10% of his current position. So, and he gets to, or he buys more shares and he gets up to 9.5%. Does that have to be reported right away because he's not a 10% plus owner? Part of me is like, wait, he doesn't because he's below 10%. But then you have to think about it. He's also CEO right now. So he's pretty much chairman, CEO. So he's also a member of the board, and the board usually has to file a Form 4 2 days within the time period of when they purchase shares. So I think if he purchases shares, we still do need to get a filing short after. So if anyone has any insight on that, I gotta look into it more. But I just saw some people bouncing that idea around out there, and I could see him acquiring more shares. I really could. I'm not maybe like a super substantial amount given how much he already has already, but I could see him accumulating more just to kind of show like I'm still here. But at the same time, he really doesn't have to. He has not sold a single share this whole time, and that was the other thing that girl was saying on the spaces. She's like, oh well, is Ryan Cohen been earning because people are saying like, oh, he doesn't have compensation in any which way. Like every share he owns, he's bought with his own money. So, oh, does he have stock options? And it's like, no, like I don't know. It just didn't have that much knowledge, that person, unfortunately, right? But it's a bit bad. Watch a commercial, real estate, people will team up. Exactly. A senator sent letter to Powell urging to cut rates. Meeting is this Wednesday. Purple, purple. Thank you for being here. And yeah, purple's a good color, right? But I forgot that the Fed meeting's tomorrow. When GameStop, things are going crazy. Like I kind of start forgetting about all their market events. I'm pretty sure we're about to get a CPI rating, if I'm not mistaken. We also have the FOMC meeting where they're going to determine if interest rates will be risen, cut, or stay the same. My bet would be that they stay the same. I have a very hard time believing that they're going to raise rates. I think that would very much spook the market and catch a lot of people by surprise. But cutting rates, I mean, inflation's still raging on. And yeah, maybe on CPI it's not as bad, but I think for the average person, you're definitely still seeing inflation, right? And you definitely, things haven't just gotten better, right? And also, unless there's deflation, it doesn't dramatically change, right? Like even if the inflation happened, like the price changes are here to stay. Like if this Slinky used to be $2 and then now it's $3, it doesn't just go back to being $2. You know what I mean? So that's also another factor. But if you think about it, cutting the rates right now would be crazy because you're supposed to cut rates when the market needs a boost and the economy needs a boost. And look at the S&P, right? Or we could just go over here. Look at the S&P right now. Every time it tries to dip, it just comes raging back. So let's look at the 5. Oh my gosh, I gotta fix my chart, guys. How did I fix it last time? I don't even know. But look at this. It just keeps going up. And then year to date, why would you cut rates right now? It just seems bonkers to me, the idea of cutting rates. And it's almost like the market started pricing in that there's going to be rate cuts, but I don't know. I just don't see that. And let's get to a couple of memes real quick because I wanted to do these in the beginning. And again, so much has been happening, so I forgot. But also, gotta drink water, guys. Gotta drink water. Water is key. I gotta get my own branded water. Tetron. No free ads. No free ads. So, gonna get Tetron branded water. No, I'm just kidding. But so today, mainstream media, and this is before the show off, right? Forget GameStop, forget GameStop, forget GameStop, forget GameStop. And it's so true, right? That's how the media is. I was like, no. I love this meme. It's so funny. Literally, my coworker has it printed out like on her desk, and someone actually just recently left our job, and we took it from his desk and put it by her desk because it used to be like his kind of meme or like thing he'd reference. So we took it over, like the legacy lives on, right? So we literally have this taped like in our little section of our department. So that's what made me think of it, and it's so true. So many. I'm not the only one that's been like, nope, I'm not forgetting it. And I always say like, GameStop is the next GME. GME is the next GameStop. That's just what the sources are saying. Sources are saying GameStop's the next GME. Or, man, damn it, I forgot to forget GameStop again. But where was it? What was I going to show you guys? Oh, the other meme, right? And then also I can so much to touch on, so much to touch on. We'll get to this other stuff later, but start clearing out the tabs so I can get organized. This one made me laugh. Like I think I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This stuff with the bananas, mad weird. Not for me. I don't care what price GameStop goes to. No bananas and me are you. If you know, you know. If you don't, trust me, it's better you don't know. But this meme genuinely made me laugh very much. Like I actually burst out laughing when I just came across. When your partner asks why you're looking for the smallest banana in the grocery store, you wouldn't get it. Oh my god, yeah, it's so funny, but it's also so weird, yeah. And then I was thinking last week also they announced the next share offering, the price went down. I was like thinking like, bro, that person was probably like, I call him Rick of Spades 2.0. I don't know his actual username, but I should give him credit, right? Given what he did. But imagine seeing this in the morning, Friday when you woke up, you're like, bro, I just put a banana where the sun don't shine, and now the price isn't even over 50 anymore. But I guess technically it was temporarily, right? But I don't know the terms of it. Was it supposed to be with the market hours, right? But this is just so funny, right? Crazy. Oh my gosh. And this one, this looked interesting. I didn't even get it. Maybe we'll get to it later. Again, before I was trying to pull a bunch of things up, multitask. While I'm in the space, I'm also trying to like prepare for the stream and the stuff I want to talk about. So maybe we'll get to these later. But this one, gamma ramps being expanded. You can see the amount of options still being written for the 21st of June, right? Yeah, that's next Friday. So we have 8 days till then. Another 14,000 were written for the $20 call strike. You have a bunch being written in the mid 20s. You have a pretty substantial amount, about a 25% increase for the 30s for that date, right? June 21st. And then good amount written for 35. So still a pretty decent gamma ramp there. We'll see if that continues, right? The past two gamma ramps have been kind of killed by shares being issued, and there's been a little bit of frustration I've seen amongst individuals with that, and I get that, but at the same time, the company now is 4.1 billion, and the gamma ramp is still there. That's the craziest part to me, right? It's like, no matter what you think of this stock, there's clearly demand for these shares, and how could the price go up? If you really think about it, how could the price go up 200% from its low, right? Go from $10 to $30. And during that time period, they dilute 45 million shares at an average price of 20 something, and then another 75 million for an average price of like 28. And yet the price still holds up. So clearly there are demand for shares. And you really think just suddenly all kinds of retail investors are coming out of the woodwork and just buying up all these shares? Do you really think that? Obviously, some institution or another is coming in and buying up those shares, right? And the was it like 13F filings, I think, for when institutionals ownership comes out. Sorry guys, I did not sleep a lot yesterday. I don't know why. I just had so much. I guess it's not even GameStop. So I did not sleep till like 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Like I literally have to work tomorrow, and I'm gonna stream again, and I'm feeling it a little bit right now. But that's all right. If I have to, I'll go grab a Coca-Cola real quick. But what I'm trying to say is someone is buying those shares, and I don't think it's retail. Like, because again, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself, but I was dollar cost averaging this whole time, right? And I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't really been buying shares in this time period. I've sold a put, I closed it, and then I sold another put, and I'm letting that ride right now. And again, please don't blindly follow what I do, but I sold the $15 put for July, on the monthly July contract. So I don't see GameStop being below 15 at that point, especially now with the $9 and change they have in cash per share. So I feel really good about that, about some premium collected, and I'll either just buy some more shares with it or maybe do a call, just maybe, right? I haven't bought a call, guys. Literally, I don't think I've bought any single call since literally 3 years ago. About June 2021, I'm pretty sure is the last time I was buying call options. So, and again, the only way I'll do it is if it's like money I'm totally ready to lose, and ideally just premium collected from selling puts. But at the same time, I'd rather kind of just keep that cash for now and let the money market interest accumulate, and then if the share price goes lower, maybe I'll have to buy some more. Or just keep stacking cash because I'm also trying to just save up some other things in my life. And one thing I wanted to say on the space that I forgot to say that I think a lot of people learned out of this saga, trying to buy more GameStop shares. And again, I can't speak for everyone. I'm just speaking in generalities here. I'm not in the business of giving financial advice. I'm just speaking in generalities. But I feel like there's this sentiment, right, where it's like you want to keep accumulating shares, but I only have so much money. I got to keep accumulating shares. So I think a lot of people not only became more educated on the idea of investing and the importance of it and market mechanics, all these different aspects, but also I feel like people became more and more familiar with the idea of being frugal and the importance of being frugal. And if you're not exactly sure what that means, basically it just means that, hey, I'm not just going to go buy food for the sake of buying food because I'm out right now and I don't feel like making something. And it's kind of like when you're a kid, and I can relate to this, right? When it's like, I want McDonald's. We have food at home. I'm like, no, but I want McDonald's. Wah, right? You got to kind of be disciplined with yourself. And I feel like when you want something more, and you put yourself in that mindset, you say, well, do I really need to buy this right now? No, I'll just wait and have some food when I get home. And obviously, if you're out all day long, you're busy, like, yeah, you got to eat. Like, don't be ridiculous, right? But also, like, and I just keep using this example because it's right. I just really wanted this premium $100 Slinky. I'm going to buy it. No, I want to save $100, right? And obviously, Slinky's not a great example because this was not $100. This is not a premium Slinky. Maybe because I'm touching it now, I'll sign it for you guys, give it away, $100 Slinky, premium Tetron, Slinky times Tetron, right? No, I'm totally just joking around here, but I think you guys got the point I'm trying to make, where being frugal is something that I've seen a lot more individuals get better at over these past several years. And again, speaking in generalities here, but I can definitely test that out for myself. And also just more maturity for me has made me a lot more frugal and just save a lot more and understand, okay, well, if I save money now, this is less money I have to invest, less money for my my future, less money that I'll be able to potentially contribute to my IRA, less money for the next time I want to take a vacation, right? All these different little things, right? And try and organize too. And something that I've been doing recently that's really, really helped me is the past few months I create an Excel sheet. Every time I spend money, I put it on there. I keep doing it every single time, and then I put in categories. I put like bars, food, uh, monthly bills, right? Put phone bills like a separate one. I'll put like subscription costs, miscellaneous costs, right? Like when I got Mother's Day gift, that was a miscellaneous cost last month. Father's Day gift this month, another miscellaneous cost, right? In terms of what do you think? Oh, it's a miscellaneous cost. And then bar, excuse me, that's pretty self-explanatory. And that's the one I feel the worst about when I'm like, oh, I spent that much, really? Oh my gosh. And yeah, that's why I try not to go out as much anymore because you just out and for me, I'm just having a good time and I'm just another beer. Oh, I got you, man. Like, you know what I mean? I get too generous like when I'm drunk, honestly. Not like drunk, but you know what I mean. So, all right, back to GameStop. Totally going all over the place here, but doing an extra stream today for W's today. Ryan Code lawsuits dismissed. High Point offerings closed. Exactly, Keenan. That's another great point, that the Ryan Cohen lawsuit was dismissed, and to me, it was all baloney anyway. How did they look into that mysterious trader guy that made a bunch on Bed Bath and Beyond on the run up? And honestly, you want to talk about market manipulation? It seemed odd. It's like, where did this young individual get all this money and make all this money on that huge move it suddenly made, like shortly before it went bankrupt, right? But all right, we're gonna get back here. Don, Big T, what up? What up? My theory is whenever screenshots are taken, the hedges know. I swear it's every time. PH, honestly, man, who knows? But Dirty Bird about to be an astronaut for real. Chiefs, Diamond Hands. Ah, no, man, I'm sick of the Chiefs. No one wants to see the Chiefs 3P, man. That's crazy talk. I didn't see you at the office today. Chiefs wide receivers now. Watch out. I mean, it's true. Listen, Chiefs are a good team. You have Mahomes. That alone makes you a legit threat. Sharon, what up? Hope you're doing well. Green trader does not allow average cost average at to view those shares detailed. He's traded exactly. Just zoom out on charts. There's your answer. Future lowered its limit sell. I think must be coming. AMC also did a debt conversion. I'm back. I mean, $90 on GME on Robinhood and decided to go all in right before Ryan Kitty live stream, and now my average cost 53 and I'm down. Andrew, It's all good. I mean, that's the way it goes sometimes. It's life lessons. You know, you got to ultimately decide what you want to do. And it sounds like you're more of a trader, and that's all right. And trading's easier said than done, but you always got to know what's best for you. Tapping Kitty. I wouldn't be surprised if Tapping Kitty. I wouldn't be surprised if I gotta get caught up. If I'm gonna start skimming through here, I apologize if I miss anything. Wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Cohen diluted heavy with Ryan Q and execution rate, especially with the hype factor to balance out taking in more cash on hand. Yeah, listen, they're absolutely stacked at this point. Ryan Cohen has so many connections now. Good point. How high do you believe GameStop will go? LSOS, save our souls. A wise man on the screen right now. Just up. That's what a wise man said once. Touch on, you're watching DFE live the trade, and he's dialed in. Lots of traders make a career fortune on one or two amazing runs. Scott, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, one or two amazing runs is all you need if you're truly succeeding a lot. I need to take my time to have BlackBerry Crown VRV. Oh, you're good. No account, maybe why I don't care about his finances. Weirdo, yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. So why are so many AMC questions GME stock talk live stream? Tetron has given his position of view a good amount of times already. Thank you, Keenan. Thank you. Exactly. Yes, sir. But yeah, no, that's why I got to keep skimming through the chat. So I apologize if I missed anything. Picked up calls after a massive consolidation period. Very good point, weirdo. Shrine, thank you for being here. My wife said I'm just here because I like the stream. Dirty Bird, I appreciate you so much, man. Yeah. I want to get like that one day. And it's going to take time, right? It's going to take time. And I'm just trying to embrace the journey, right? And also, I read something not too long ago that I thought was good where it's like, part of not knowing, I think it was actually that guy Ben. I'm sure you guys have seen him. He talks about like Bitcoin a lot too on X, and he's a big GameStop guy as well. But he basically put something, and he wrote a whole thing, but just the one thing that stood out to me when I read it was it said something along the lines of embrace the struggle. The struggle when you're young, like like the best thing you can do is embrace it, and not say like I'm struggling. Oh my god, my life's so difficult, but just trying to figure out like okay, like how am I going to buy a house one day? How am I going to pay for a wedding? Like, how am I going to have a bunch of kids? How am I going to move to where I want to do this and do these different things, right? And all these different ideas bounce around in my mind. And I still have a lot of time to figure these things out, right? And I'm not saying I'm doing anything tomorrow, but birds aren't real. But yeah, that I heard about that a while back. Like, what is this? But he could exercise them all. Scott, he is a G, so I wouldn't be entirely surprised. Patrick, I'm holding long term, but I'm not a trader. Fair enough. Maybe identify as a. Oh my gosh, you guys are wild in chat. Just Nvidia and go to sleep. Stagflation's there. Listen, BM, Nvidia's so high right now. I literally just had a friend telling me he's gonna buy Nvidia. I'm like, bro, it's up so much already, and like any slight difficult time for them, right? Any slight earnings report that's not super good, then like you don't know what's going to happen. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're in a situation where, damn, 135 you guys are here, this is crazy. You guys are so awesome, for real. I appreciate you all. If you could drop a like, that is extra appreciated. But with NVIDIA, like, look at the way it's been running. You don't think it's, like, due for a pullback? Like, it can't run forever. And oh, this is because they just did the split. I was like, what the heck? Big glitch too, but, oh, my chart's annoying me. I got to figure out how to lock this, right? But look at what it's done year to date. And again, ignore this. This is just because of the split, some kind of like glitch or something. But it's just been running and running and running. And remember, it already has a $3 trillion market cap. So just one slightly bad earnings report for NVIDIA, then you're looking at a situation where it'll probably drop off a lot, and it will take another amazing earnings report to bring them back, because expectations for them are just so high at this given point in time. So that's why I think, like, I don't know, I wouldn't touch NVIDIA right now, but that's just me. That's just me. At the end of the day, everyone's going to make their own decisions. So, all right, let's get back on track here. Ryan Cohen was required to file this 13D with the SEC because he is no longer a 10% hodler. Well, and shout out user slash Welp007. I think he's on Reddit as well as X, which also means he can buy 1.3.9% of GME without reporting if he is in an insider buy window, which he is after the public was informed with the 10Q today. Kitty has a wingman tomorrow. Interesting. Interesting. And again, this is just speculation right here. But then it's also where I'm like, doesn't he have to file a Form 4 still because he's CEO right now? So, CEO, chairman of the board, I don't know. I don't know. Again, all just food for thought here. That's what I'm all about here. So, these are the official filings. And yes, the 10Q is out now. If you guys didn't see it, which has all the little details, I'll have to go through it. We already had all these numbers when the news came out of the earnings, right? When the at-the-market offering was announced on the 7th, they did already disclose the earnings, and you could scroll down and you could already get like the EPS, net sales, SG&A, all that stuff, right? But now with the 10Q, you can get the very specific information, right? Like the little details that are always good to read through. I'm not going to do it right here live right now, but always good to be aware of. Oh, so I know what I wanted to do now. So we're going to pull up my assistant, ChatGPT. So, okay, so if this is where it's another good tool, guys. If a company sold 45 million shares at an average price of $20.74, and then sold another 75 million shares at an average price of $28.49. What was the overall average price per share sold? Let's see. So calculate the total revenue. Okay. Not revenue. This is where I take with a grain of salt, right? Revenue is not the exact way to put it, but it gives you the full math right here. So overall, the average price per share for the most recent two share offerings combined is essentially $25.58 per share. And when you look at where GameStop has been at these past few years, right? Let's zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. Fix this chart. If the average price was, what would you say? Where are we? $25.58 per share. If you consider both share offerings together, the average price per share sold, and again, this is just an average, just pinpoint that right there. We're looking at right around here. And when's the last time GameStop was at $25? In the summer of last year. And then even before that, there was a significant period where it was below that. And then really, the only time it was consistently above that price point was 2022 and prior. So they got I would say a pretty substantial average of price per share that was sold. So that's just some other side information there. Damn, maybe I do need to go grab a Coca-Cola, guys. I feel like I'm getting burnt out already. Maybe just more water. That'll help. But $25.58 was the average price per share that was issued. Net both of the offerings together. Zen. Namaste. Yeah, sometimes I realize I feel like I start like losing my train of thoughts because I'm going too fast. I gotta slow down. But it's also like with streaming, right? You want to keep going quick. Gotta keep people having retention and watching the stream and interested in what you're talking about. But sometimes I'm like, gotta slow down, right? And talking about the Gamma app, let's refresh right here. I don't think this is it refreshed? So for some reason the borrowed shares doesn't update on this website anymore. A little bit odd, so don't look at that because January 19th was obviously a long time ago. But for this week, a lot of the calls are out of the money, but there's a lot of calls in the money for next week's expiry. And also there's a lot more calls in general. That's just because it's a monthly expiry. So this is a monthly. I think the 19th is a monthly. Obviously 18th is a monthly. October is a quarterly, and then you have a yearly, a semi-annually, and a yearly. But you can see right now the nearest monthly is June 21st, and that is 8 trading days away. And combined, right, like pull up our calculator real quick. Look how many call options this is total. 311,000 of them are in the money. Plus 242,307 out of the money currently. That's 553,564 call options total. Times 100 shares, right? Because every option is essentially 100 shares. Of course, not every single one is going to be exercised, but just for the sake of doing math to say how many shares do these call options represent? 55 million shares. And we know post-offering, right, that they have, let's see, terms, approximately 426 million shares outstanding at this point. So that's a pretty substantial portion. Also, given the amount of insiders that hold shares, DRS shares, people that just buy and hold in general, that just for one single call option, so many shares are attributable to it. I mean, again, not a guarantee that everyone that has those call options exercises, especially if it's out of the money, but it just shows you generally how loaded up the options chain is currently. And then that doesn't even account for how about another 100,000 combined right here? And then that's another 1 million shares, or sorry, 10 million shares, right? Because if it's 100,000 times 100 shares, that's another 10 million shares. And this is just for one particular option, right? Or I'm sorry, this is, oh, okay. Step back. This is for each period, right? Not just one particular option. I'm misspeaking here. I meant June 21st. That's for all the call options in general. But just looking at the other parts of the chain, right? Looking at the next monthly one, there's still another 10 million within that. And that's still incredible that that many shares are written in the options chain, not to mention all the puts as well. So just so many of the shares outstanding are attributable to options. And again, not every option's exercised, but it just shows like how many options are written on these things. And it goes back to that clip of Thomas Petterfy, the founder of Interactive Brokers, basically saying like, yes, you know, what happened with GameStop, very dangerous, very close to the whole system breaking. That's what he said. I'm just paraphrasing here, right? And that was a terrible impression. But what he was basically saying is the options chain became so loaded up that it was like, wait, there's going to be more shares attributable to just a couple of the next coming options chains that it's going to create this like infinite gamma ramp, right? Because if you keep writing farther and farther options out, farther and farther price points, and people keep buying and buying the shares, and options keep getting exercised more and more, it just kind of creates this infinite ramp, right? And then that's not even thinking about short interest and short covering, right? And again, this is all just food for thought here, but that's where options kind of come into play. And definitely options are a part of things right now. And what we've been seeing these past few weeks is definitely gamma ramps. Like that's definitely a part of it, right? Like this was a gamma ramp right here. And that's where some people have like kind of expressed some frustration I've seen out there. Like, why would they issue shares right now? You know, they're totally killing the gamma ramp, totally killing the run up. But that's where I say like the company has to focus, Ryan Cohen, the rest of the board, on driving GameStop forward and stacking the balance sheet. Like they're not focused on the short term of the stock price. Like they have to think about the company. And remember, they themselves running the company are shareholders. So you say, oh, well, they're hurting me, but they're hurting themselves as well. And but then the counterpoint to that is, well, these are very wealthy individuals, so they don't care about the short term. For me, it matters for the short term. But then again, that's where you have to determine are you a long term investor or you're a short term investor. And the question now becomes, and I think as this is fresh and everyone digests it a little bit, like, what are we going to see next from GameStop, right? Because first they do a share offering again. It only takes 6 trading days to complete a $45 million offering, which I thought that was impressive. And then 3 trading days, they issue another 75 million. So at this point, they have 4.15 billion in cash, which equates to approximately 962 per share. Sorry, in cash per share. But what do you do with all that? You can't just hang on to that cash forever. Yeah, sure. Like you can earn about 5% right now if you think about like a marketable security or a high yield savings account, money market account, right? So let's see, what's 5% of 4.15 billion? So you would get about 207 million. So that will help them though. If they do earn $207 million in interest, that would make them significantly more net profitable. But at the end of the day, you can't just hold cash forever. At some point or another, they have to make a move. And then that's also where I feel like, given that they're choosing to do this share offering now, there has to be some kind of plan in mind. And I definitely get where, some people are coming from, like, want to start hearing what is the plan. Like, I understand you don't want to, there's two sides of it, right? Like, you don't want to telegraph your plan to the enemy and those betting against it because of the nature of the situation surrounding GameStop. But then the other side of it is, well, I'm a loyal shareholder. I've been here for years. I want to know what the plan is, where we're taking this company. We're issuing all these shares. What's going on here? But while I do want to know something sooner than later, at this point, I'm used to not knowing what's going to happen in the short term. And I believe in the management team. They have their shares. as well. So they have vested interest in the success of the company. So again, I'm not ever here to tell you, I want to be perfectly clear, I'm never here to tell you this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I'm just evaluating it like everyone else out there. And I just like doing YouTube and just sharing what I think, calling it how I see it. And at the end of the day, like I don't want to ever dictate like, oh yeah, like Tetron thinks this, like, oh, this is totally what's happening, right? I'm just throwing ideas out there, talking about other things I see other individuals talking about and just building upon them. And then hopefully that helps you build upon your research and due diligence, and then you give me ideas and I go, oh, that's interesting when I read the chat, right? And then, oh, well, I didn't think of it that way. And then we just bounce back and forth and just all keep improving on our own individual selves and our own individual various ways, right? But it seems like sooner than later they have to use this cash for something. They do have the investment policy in place, and the current filings basically say like, while we have the investment policy, and I'm again paraphrasing here, while we have the investment policy in place to make an investment if we so choose to. At this point in time, we're just focused on treasuries and short-term securities with high interest. So that's what I think they're going to do for now. But I would think, they're seeking opportunities to make an acquisition. And I was kind of talking about this a little bit the past couple streams where I don't think it's going to be a public company if they make a full-on acquisition. Maybe with another public company, they buy shares of it. It's a part of the assets on their balance sheet. And also, I keep just throwing the idea of Bitcoin out there just because I see it out there. And again, to be clear, I'm a Bitcoin holder for the long term, but it doesn't mean I think GameStop should necessarily do Bitcoin. And then also, I've even seen a couple people say gold, other individual stocks. Whatever the case, right? They probably, if they make a full acquisition, I think that's going to be of a private company or a relatively small company that not many people have heard of. Whereas if they use the investment policy to buy another stock, like I think they're going to buy some shares of it, right? Or a small part of it. But again, we'll see. I'm not from the future. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. I don't think anybody truly can. So you got to make your own determinations and just keep digging, keep doing the research, doing the work. But where I think about an acquisition being beneficial for GameStop and the company they're acquiring. So let's stay just hypothetical, right? We keep using the Slinky. This is, Roaring Kitty is the 8 ball. I have the Slinky, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Can never even compare to Roaring Kitty. That guy's an absolute legend for real. But let's just use the example of the Slinkies, right? Like you have Tetron Slinkies. I had $1 billion in, or let's do smaller numbers. I have $100 million in revenue, and after cost of goods, SG&A, my net income is $20 million. So if GameStop were to come to me, hey, we want to acquire your business, and I say, oh, I'm going to grow at a multiple of, I'm estimated to grow about 20% the next few years. GameStop might come to me, okay, how about, we do either an all stock deal or part stock, part cash to basically acquire your business. I would say most likely cash. Let's say they come to me, they're okay, Tetron, or want to buy Tetron Slinkies and make it part of GameStop, rebrand it to GameStop Slinkies. Then they'll buy it out for me from 200. They would spend 200 cash. We agree to terms. Great. You add the 100 million in revenue to GameStop's income statement, and then 20 million on the bottom line. So it helps. Like revenue rises, subsequently net income rises, right? I think they have to kind of look for something like that. And again, just a random example here with the Slinkies. But you might think for me, like, why would I want to do it? We're making good net income, we're growing, we're doing well. But not a lot of people have heard of Tetron Slinkies, right? But if Tetron Slinkies becomes part of GameStop and rebrands to GameStop Slinkies, that is a lot more eyes on it, a lot more people, like just natural marketing because of all the people that follow GameStop so closely. And it's a lot more people that get to see it. And maybe I only had an online store, and then now they can put Tetron Slinkies at the storefront when you're checking out, like, oh, hey, what's this? Oh, you haven't seen GameStop Slinkies? They're super unique, right? Look at them. So again, just a random example here, but I think if it's an acquisition, that could be like the benefits to both sides. And then also, if people say like Gameshire Hathaway or Gameshire Stopaway, right, or something like that, basically combining Berkshire and GameStop. When you look at what Warren Buffett does, he acquires stocks and companies in market recessions or just in general when we have market pullbacks. He buys when others are fearful. He tends to be greedy, right? Generally, you're speaking, when you invest, you want to buy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy, right? Or fearful when others are greedy and then greedy when others are fearful. So kind of like inversing everything as a whole. So if the market's crashing, a lot of asset valuations are falling, that might be a time because GameStop will have a very strong balance sheet to explore what acquisitions they can make. So maybe that's the situation where they're waiting for a market crash of some kind, whether it be minor or major, and then they're going to make moves with the cash. And then for the time being, like, all right, we have 4.15 billion in cash right now. We can earn 207.5 million at a 5% interest rate in just a money market account. So we might as well just do that and then hold some treasury bills as well. Maybe get slightly more, like 5.25 or something like that, and just accumulate 207.5 million more in cash. And that's where it's like with a strong balance sheet, even if GameStop is just breaking even, right? And I didn't even get to this yet, guys. Oh my goodness, what did I just do? Updated my graphics. I finally updated my graphics. I posted some of them today. So looking at the numbers here, we can see you got SG&A improvement year over year for the same quarter. Percentage wise, not so much. That was a little bit disappointing. But silver lining is SG&A went down year over year. Gross margins, when I was doing this, I didn't even realize gross margins went up 4.5%. And I wrote a little thing today on it. I don't know if you guys saw it on X. While net margins barely improved, gross margins did improve pretty decently, which just kind of shows me they're generally trying to focus on higher margin items, which I absolutely think is a good thing. And I want to see them do more private label stuff like CandyCon and other private label brands. Like expand upon CandyCon, do more with it, but then also develop other private label brands. Like that's something I'd really like to see them do, because when you're making the products in house, generally speaking, your cost of goods is lower, and then your gross margin rises, and subsequently your net margin will rise as well. And with the cash, more cash on the balance sheet, earning more interest, net income should rise these next few quarters as well. And then also year over year, not ideal that revenue was down 356 million, but net income did manage to be up 18.2. And where was I going with this? Oh, I totally just lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So looking at 2023, Q1 they lost 50.5 million in the first quarter. This year we lost 32.3. Again, not saying this is all sunshine and rainbows, not ideal, but let's say Q2 we improve. Let's use the same metric, right? They improve 18 million quarter over quarter. If they net $15 million in Q2 and then Q3, they start accumulating a lot of interest on that cash, and they're also having a decent quarter on the bottom line, then let's say they make 50 million right here. And then Q4, again, with the interest combined and a decently strong Q4 on the bottom line and just lower costs selling higher margin items, they make 100 something million. So they would make like 100 something million for the full year, maybe 200 million, anywhere between 100 and 200 million of net income. Let's say even the worst case scenario, they just break even. Or sorry, yeah, 200 million. It depends. Like if I'm mixing up 2 points right here. What I'm trying to say though is if you're accumulating a lot of interest on the cash, even if your business is breaking even, you're good because you're accumulating interest on the cash and it's just stacking more and more cash on the balance sheet and they're just building up and up and up. So a key thing I should do, right? But then this would get messy. There's 3 different types of margins, and one of them isn't here. You have gross margin, operating margin, and then net margin. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right here on the 10Q. This would clarify my point better. See, guys, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Never going to be, but always going to keep trying to improve. So this is for Q1. You have net sales. This is revenue. Then you have cost of goods. That's how much you spend on the products that you're going to sell. And then this is all the products, services, everything sold together. So your gross profit is right here. That's your gross margin, 244.5 million. And then SG&A, that's your overhead costs, right? Like just the buildings, keeping the lights on, things of that nature. So then right here, right, you have the operating loss. So this is your operating profit or loss. So you have your gross margin, profit or loss, and you have gross profit. And then operating, that's after considering the overhead costs. But then see interest income. They had $14.9 million of interest income in the last quarter. So then that brought them, and then you have to take into account loss for income taxes, but then income tax benefit. which basically just means they withheld some taxes in some shape or form and they got it back. So that brings you to your net margin. So you have your gross margin right here, your operating margin right here, and your net margin down here. So if that's the case, my point is that even if their operating margin right here is just zero, if they're able to just break even on it, because they have so much cash, they'll earn a lot of interest income, and they'll earn a much greater amount in these next few quarters than just 14.9 million. And then that'll subsequently bring them to a stronger net profit. So even if the operating profit is still remaining break even for the time being, then your net profit can be strong and grow a little bit because you're accumulating so much interest because you have so much cash equivalents, marketable securities. And again, that's great for the short term, but in the long term, I think they do have to execute and do something bigger than that. But I'm just saying, if they're going the approach of waiting for a market crash and being able to buy other assets at undervalued prices at a time where a lot of people are fearful, they can be greedy because they have a stacked balance sheet and they were being patient and they were just letting their cash accumulate for the time being. So for them, a high interest rate environment isn't necessarily a bad thing. Where it is a bad thing is that's probably definitely, I would say, an aspect of what's hurting net sales, like which is just overall revenue. But on the flip side, they're able to earn a lot of interest on their cash at this given time. So if you look at another company where they have a lot of debt on the balance sheet, you say, oh, GameStop has a lot of debt, right? But look, current portion of long-term debt, they're almost done paying it off, 10.8 million, and then total is 14.9. But then the other accrued liabilities are pretty much the store leases right now, like the current ones, right? And then operating long-term, not very much, and then operating lease liabilities in the long term. So the current, and those of you that aren't familiar, current just means within a 1 year period that money will be used. Non-current is 1+ year, so anything over 365 days, right? So having said all that, and more water, guys, more water. Getting burnt out here. And I gotta get more sleep tonight. Damn, I should have got more sleep. I would have been sharper right now, I swear. Having said all that, if they had a lot of long-term debt right now, such as some other companies out there, wink, wink, AMC, no offense, but it's just reality. If they had 100, or let's say an insane number, 1.4 billion in debt, right, with a 6-7% interest rate, the cash they're accumulating in a high money market account doesn't do any good for them. So paying off all their debt really changed the game because their only long-term debt is this 14.9 million plus the current portion 10.8. All the other debt, right? Because if you look at Yahoo Finance, some people will just look at Yahoo Finance and say, "Oh, GameStop has 500 million in debt. They should pay that off." And it's like, when someone says that, I just immediately know that they have not read the filings for the company and they don't know exactly what's going on. It's just reality of it. But if you look at Yahoo Finance here, right, it says, "Oh, long-term debt," or sorry, 588.7 million, but that's taking into account store leases and the other like small long-term liabilities they have, which we just saw right here. And by the way, that number is not even updated yet. I'm sure it'll take a few days or weeks to update to reflect the 10Q numbers. And oh my gosh, I just lost the air. Oh, we were over here. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm always trying to help people learn more and more. So with that, you look at the numbers here versus you glance at Yahoo Finance. Oh, like they have $588.7 million of debt. But you look here, you're like, hey, wait a minute. This is barely any actually long-term debt, right? Most of this is operating lease liabilities that's being calculated into this. So I'm guilty of it too, though, right? If I look at another company real quick, I'm like, oh, what's going on with Oracle right now? Oh, they're up in the after hours. What's the deal with them? How does their balance sheet look? Like, I'll do a quick look at Yahoo Finance, but if I truly wanted to and look, I'm like, wow, 87.98 billion versus 10 billion in cash. What is going on here? That's pretty wild. But if I truly wanted to invest in Oracle, what I would have to do is read the filings, right? Because I bet if I look at Oracle's filings, like maybe some of that debt is at a very low interest rate and it's over a very long period of time they have to pay it back. Maybe some of it is not actually long-term debt and it's just being calculated into total debt here. So if you truly want to invest in something, you can't just look at Yahoo Finance. You have to look at the company's filings themselves. And damn, just this is why I like to look at other companies. I was saying this last stream too. Even if you're not going to invest in other companies, it's good to look at other companies for perspective. Oracle has 41.9% insider ownership. That's a very large amount of insider ownership, especially given its market cap. What is it? Is it Larry Ellison that owns it? Yeah, does he have, how many shares does he have? Let's see. Now I'm curious since we're here. Top insiders. Where are they? Oh, inside roster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Larry Ellison that has like a gazillion shares because he's the founder. It has to be because it's not on here exactly. And again, it's always better to read the filings to get the specific numbers. But let's see. Damn, 346. Oh no, that's the value. That's the value. I was gonna say what? That's crazy. But yeah, also with all this stuff, right? Whether it's you're on Yahoo Finance, Google Finance, TradingView, you should always check. Like the best source of the information is always the company's filings. But if you're looking for something such as like the insider transactions or insider ownership, things like that, it's best to check a couple sources because not all of them update right away. And even right there, right? Like, why don't I see Larry Ellison on there? And Yahoo Finance isn't always the best. I feel like I need a better like primary app to use. Like, if I'm at work, I want to see what's going on with GameStop. I naturally go to Yahoo Finance. I don't know why. I've just done it for so long. I guess that's why. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need a new app. I feel like it's so like outdated. Like this is the only Yahoo thing people use. Who uses Yahoo Sports News, Yahoo anything at this point, right? And didn't Verizon buy them out? And then ultimately that was like one of the worst acquisitions ever for them. I'm pretty sure. But dirty bird, 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 bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. Thank you, brother. Really, thank you. I think I have to do that every time now. I think I have to do it every time. But admin. Oh no, damn, the chat's going up. Maybe I need some ads in here, dude. That's the crazy thing. I might need admin in the chat because things are just going crazy in here lately. You guys are so awesome as of late, for real. Attention, I'm going to the moon, weirdo. Wise man once said, "Only up." I think sooner than later, at some point or another. The moon talking points. Admin. Pretty sure Tetron told me we were going to the moon 100%. Badass trader, what up? What up? Hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you in the chat. Keep it at least 100 to matter for DRS till forever. Oh my god, there's so much going on. Let's see. Hello, Tetron, Whiskey, what up, what up? I'm just skimming through. Ben, hope you're doing well. Dragos, what up, what up? Can I run 2000? What about phone numbers levels like I read on Superstrong? Ben, the truth is, I think nobody truly knows, but if this goes as deep as people say, and it's truly a situation where there's just an unprecedented amount of demand and a very limited supply of shares, it's really just, at the end of the day, the stock price is the difference between the bid and the ask. So, at the close, the bid was $29.77. The ask was $29.83. So someone is asking for $29.83 per share to sell them at. Someone else is, okay, I'll buy as high as $19.77. The stock price is the middle point, and clearly it's not updated because it closed at $30.49, right? But the midpoint would be the stock price, and when it's trading, like when you see bid and ask constantly changing all day, the current stock price is the difference of the two. So if you're in a situation where there's tons of short covering, there's tons of gamma on an options chain, whatever it is, and there's all bids and no asks on the order book, to me I take this with a grain of salt, guys. To me that's MOAS. When it's all just bids on the order books and then little to no ask, and that's where people have the theory, right? People say the theory, and again, it's all just food for thought here. Please don't just, oh my god, Tetris said MOAS is here, oh my god, right? No, I'm not saying it, right? But the theory of MOAS is, and this is how I understand it, and I've been saying for a while now that everyone could define MOAS in their own way, right? Like you look in the dictionary, it's not a real word, it's just an acronym, right? Mother of all short squeezes. Mother of all short squeezes. There we go. But to me, it's just what MOAS is, how I would define it, is unprecedented amounts of demand with very limited supply. But the theory where people say, oh, you name your own price, right? And listen, I don't know what would happen with that. And that's where I think the government steps in. Look at the world we live in. Who knows what's going to happen, right? That's all I'm trying to say. I want to very much preface that before I say this. But the theory where people say, oh, you name your own price and your price is going to look like phone numbers. What they're saying is that there's going to be so much demand that there's only going to be bids on the order book. Basically, people willing to buy at a certain price. and there'll be no ask because there'll be no supply left. Because bid is basically demand, ask is basically supply. So if there was no ask orders, then theoretically, whenever you go to sell, right? Because ask is someone's what they're asking for it to be sold at. If there's 0 ask orders on the book, and then you go to put in the price of 1 million, and someone's just buying at market, because theoretically, when you have to cover a short, when you're margin called, you have to just go in the open market and buy at market price, right? That's where people say, like, if suddenly for that moment you put in 5 shares for $1 million, boom, at that exact moment, because there's a market order coming in. A market order isn't a limit order, right? A limit order, that's what a bid is. It's like when the bid, there's a bunch of bids, right? And those are all limit orders technically. But if you're just going to the open market buying in real time, you're buying the ask. So when you see someone say buying the ask, like a market order is buying the ask. So that theoretically means that, and then that sells instantly. Someone else puts in 2 shares for 10 million. There's another market order, boom, it automatically pulls the ask, right? Because technically, that's where people say also the price is infinity. Because, and again, I'm just saying what people say. This is not what Tetron says. I'm not giving any financial advice. I want to be very clear, but this is the theory of it, where there's going to be, the theory is that there's going to be such unprecedented demand that there's going to be pretty much no ask orders left on the book and just up. That's what they say, just up. And again, that would be truly an unprecedented thing. That's never, let's be perfectly clear here. This has never, ever, ever happened in the stock market. But prior to GameStop, there also was never, ever, ever a stock that was shorted more than 100%, right? So I don't know. But at the same time, the market's always moving, right? So someone's always putting an ask. But if you just have buy, 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 because someone's having to cover a massive short position, I don't know what happens, right? Just endless halts every single time a trade goes through. One trade goes through, halt. 5 minutes later, trade resuming, halt, halt, halt. Right? I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be fun right now. Let's see what ChatGPT says. My assistant. What do you think? If a stock theoretically had no ask, no asks left on the order books and market orders were coming in, would the stock price, what would, oh wait, maybe you guys can't see this, I just realized that because my face is on the bottom right. Go big screen. Okay. What would, those of you that missed it before, the average price per share for the 2 share offerings combined, the average share was sold at $25.58. When you average together the 45 million that was sold, the 45 million shares that were sold at an average price of $20.74, which was like the 933 million that was raised, and you have the 75 million shares that were issued at an average price point of $28.49. They raised 2.136 billion from that. If you average it all together, right, the average share of the 2 combined was sold at $25.58. So if you did $25.58 times math, 120 million shares, which was the total amount diluted combined right here. Oh, the answer is right in front of my face. $25.58 times 120 million shares. That's where you get this average number, right? Or that's how you get the total amount of cash that was raised, which is crazy. They raised $3 billion over these past couple weeks. It's actually insane. But back to our prompt here. If a stock theoretically had no asks left on the order books and market orders were coming in, what would the stock price be? Would it be infinity? Just curious. I never asked ChatGPT like this. Let's see. If a stock had no asks left in the order books and the market orders were coming in, the stock price wouldn't actually reach infinity, but it would experience some extreme volatility and potentially dramatic price increases. Here's a more detailed explanation of what would likely happen. Again, take this with a grain of salt, guys. This is just for fun here. I'm just curious what it says. Order books and market dynamics. The order book consists of buy orders, bids, and sell orders, asks. If there are no asks left, It means that there are no current sell orders at any price level. Market orders. When a market order comes in, if they're executed at the best available price with no asks available, a market order buy cannot be matched with a sell order. Temporary halt. In practice, most stock exchanges have mechanisms to prevent such extreme situations. If an order imbalance occurs, trading might be temporarily halted to allow market participants to re-enter orders and restore balance. Hence the limit up, limit down. Again, general information there though. Price discovery. In the absence of asks, the stock price would theoretically jump to the next available sell order once it is placed. The new sell order could be set at a significantly higher price due to the lack of supply, causing a rapid increase in the stock price. However, there would always be a finite price at which a new seller is willing to sell. Market makers. In most cases, market makers play a role in providing liquidity by offering to buy and sell at various price levels. They help prevent a situation where no asks are available. So while the stock price wouldn't go to infinity, it could experience rapid and substantial increases until new sell orders asks are placed. In reality, trading mechanisms and market participants typically prevent such extreme scenarios from lasting long. Listen, guys, I didn't say this. This is what my assistant, Mrs. ChatGPT, said. I'm going to screenshot this, though, for future reference. Oh, that's not it. Again, this is strictly just for fun here, guys. Please take this with the utmost grain of salt. But this is essentially what the OG theory of what a mother of all short squeezes is, right? But MOAS theory. And really look at my folder, guys. I have to sort this stuff. I have so much miscellaneous stuff in here. Just memes, graphics, the thumbnail for today, right? Generating some AI images, like generate an image of GameStop store in a futuristic city, right? Like I just love doing this stuff. But it's funny when you look at the details, you're like, what is going on here? But like when you look from afar, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it actually looks pretty good. And you look at the people, you're like, wait, what? But what's crazy is AI just keeps getting better and better over time. It's like, what is that sign? What direction is that? Look at, what is this, all Lambos? Like, what is this? Like, and it's all people on the side. But yeah, no, again, the AI images are very fun. Like, especially like this. Like, generate an image of a bull on the moon in a spacesuit about to visit a GameStop store. Like, it's just so funny to me. Like, and I love AI images because it helps me make better thumbnails. Previously, I just take a picture and I'm like, and I'd write right here, GameStop stock talk. And I was trying to think of different ways to start doing it. And then I was like, wait, AI is here. I gotta use it. Everyone's using AI anyway, so I might as well, right, for what I'm doing. And this is the thing about it, though. It's not perfect, right? It's far from perfect at this point. One, what's with these people? Why do they look like from a different universe? And then what's going on with all the screens in the store? And then also, look over here. Games to top, right? I'm gonna generate an image of a GameStop store with but it says GameStop. Shout out Roaring Pika. I'm sure you guys have seen his tweets. He always puts that out there. This guy always cracks me up. And if you're curious where I make most of my GameStop images, like this one was like GameStop store Phoenix Rising, just to see what it came up with. I'm like, this is dope. Like, and then this one, a bull, like just a mechanical bull type of thing. But where I make all these images, if you guys are curious, Microsoft Copilot I found generates the best images, and this one I just found, to be honest with you guys. These are so funny with the green people, like of like the classic, like I don't know, it's just so funny. Like I just thought this would be a funny thumbnail. Anytime the stock is like pretty green, I just roll with that. And I don't know if you guys have noticed recently, I make the sign green when the stock is green. When the stock is red, the sign is red. But also, there's been other times in the past where I've just randomly chose random colors for it because why not? It's literally just a sign, right? But lately, that's what I've been doing. So, for real, guys, I appreciate you being here so much. If you could drop a like in the chat, not in the chat, on the stream, that's greatly, greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stick around. And I understand, listen, not everyone is going to watch every stream or keep up with everything I'm doing, and I totally am okay with that. And I'm totally understanding of that. Anytime you spend here with me, I'm greatly appreciative, and it's fun talking to you guys, for real. I apologize I'm not keeping up with the chat that well. But NVIDIA is reaching around. Don't chase it. She's not worth it. Exactly, Dirty Bird. Exactly. If anything, if I wanted a semiconductor stock, maybe AMD right now, or Texas Instruments has been starting to do better. But honestly, I feel like AMD, you would have thought, I would have thought, right, that AMD would be running alongside Nvidia, but that just doesn't seem to have been the case. So, Roaring Kitty's a billionaire. $69. Roaring Kitty's a billionaire. So wild, like he planned it. Really, that's true. I think you're right, Patrick. I think it is actually exactly 69 if you do the math. How many bag holds will hold my bag? BM. I know you love being here, man. So you have to drink one shot to get the dime tap out of your mind. Then it's cruise control. Tomorrow will be class. And yeah, maybe I have to do a Roaring Kitty. Cheers, everyone, and then chug a beer at some point. So buying puts at the current IV. Weirdo Shrine. I don't know about that. I mean, listen, buying any option right now, you gotta have balls, man. I gotta be honest with you. You gotta have some big kahunas because there's insane amount of IV on the options chain right now, right? Like just look at even weeklies, like those shortest dated ones, right? You would think, oh yeah, like usually weeklies aren't that much, right? Like let's look at another stock randomly, Palantir. Look at their weeklies, and this is where implied volatility comes into play. Like how much volatility is expected, it gets priced in. Look at it's at 23.85. So let's look at one $5 away, right? Let's look at the $29 one. It's 2 cents. Like look at all the options. They're so cheap for the end of the week because it's like unless it makes pretty big moves these next few days, these options are all going to expire worthless, right? Like very tiny premium. Meanwhile, you go to GameStops, and again, given the volatility, it's all about the IV. We should have looked. Right? Look at the implied volatility on the right side. GameStops, you go $5 away. We go to like $35. You still would have to pay a $303 premium, right? Because when you're buying a $35 call for $315, you're basically betting that the stock will be $38.15 or higher on the date of expiry, and that's Friday. That's only 3 days away. And the craziest part with GameStop is it could be here by Friday, right? It could be in the 40s, but then it also could be back in the 20s, right? Like you don't truly know. That's something I've learned with the stock over these past several years. Every time you think you know what's going to happen, check yourself because there's been so many times you think something's going to happen. It's wait a minute, wait a damn minute, and then in hindsight you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get hyped up in this again? So again, if you have risk appetite, go for it. But if it's going to make you sick to see the stock price fall 20% tomorrow, I would not touch options if I were you because anyone that's been around here for a long time, and I always think of that meme where it's like, huh, first time. Anyone who's been around a long time knows that this is the nature of the stock, that it makes all these crazy moves, right? Anyone who's just been hopping back in lately has been probably seeing all this, like, yo, what is going on with GameStop? But there's been so many times, like even post 2021, all throughout here, right? Like it makes these crazy moves up and then crazy moves down. And also just remember, when it can move up very fast like this, and we've seen it time and time again, and it's with any stock. Any stock that can move up extremely fast over a short period of time can move down just as fast over that same period of time. And it goes vice versa. If a stock can move down very quick over a short period, it can move back up. It can move back up just as much over that same short period of time. So that's some good just food for thought in general in terms of markets because that's something my grandpa told me a long time back. I was like, yeah, the S&P's been going up so much lately. Like, I don't know, this was like 2016, 17 when I first getting into the markets. Just some random period of time in the past, right? Not anything time recently. Oh, S&P 500 has been going up so much as of late. It's up like 10% in 3 months. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? Isn't that good? He's like, I want to buy stuff right now, but I'm hesitant to because if it can go up that fast in that short period of time, it could come down just as quick. And that was basically the point he was trying to make. And I'm just using random numbers there because 10%, and especially in this day and age, 10% for the S&P in 3 months. Oh yeah, normal. That always happens, right? Look at it. Oh yeah. Psh. Since April, we've gone from little under 5,000 all the way up to 5,375. Yeah, just a very large. I think this is 10% alone, right? Is it? Going from about 5,000 to 5,300. 10% of 5,000 is 500. It's a little under 10%, but look at the S&P making an 8 or 9% move. Let's say roughly 8% move in just like a 2 month span. Like, come on. And you might think, okay, well, that's not that much. But when you zoom out, you're like, wait a minute, look how long this thing has just been raging on, right? I mean, it's crazy. After the pandemic drop, so many people thought, right, oh, it's going to take years before we get back to where we were before. And hindsight's always 2020, right? But the peak of the market was about mid-February, right before everything got crazy for that little bit of period of time there. But by September of that same year, so from February to September, what is that, like 7 months? It took only 7 months for the market to come all the way back. And crazy. And we've never looked back since, pretty much. I mean, obviously 2022 was a pretty tough year, but again, just broke out of it into 2023. Like the start of 2023 pretty much was just up, because I think the bottom, yeah, the market was never as low in 2023 as it was at the start of 2023. It got right back near there in March, but then it just went up, up, up. Yeah, we had a little dip to go into the fall, but then we had a little Santa Claus rally, as they call it, and then it just kept going up, up, up. The year started uppity, up, 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 up. March, all right, maybe, finally, a little bit of a pullback. Okay, recession, OMG. Nope, up, up, up. The forever bull market, as they call it. She just keeps rolling on. So, what a time to be alive, for real. Dirty Bird, who is back tested Blackberry Crown. Are you talking about Crown Royale? I'm honestly not sure what you mean, Blackberry Crown. Dirty Bird, literally so good to me, brother. I appreciate you so much. Oh my God, so much going on. Tetron, are you watching DFV, the live trade? He's dialed in. You have to drink one shot. Next time, maybe just for you, Dirty Bird. Maybe I will do a shot. Honestly, I really don't want it tonight. I'm tired, and I'm already like getting burnt out. So I don't know if I'll do a shot today. But maybe next time. I got destroyed Friday, but I'm back. Hey, Dirty Bird. That's the way she goes sometimes. PS not use Marantz or DD. Yeah, I know what you mean. I saw that. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Anything with drama, I really just try and shy away from. That's just not me. And I feel like if you're watching me for a while, like you can kind of see that. Like, and listen, I think also you have to, and this is what I'm learning throughout this journey and meeting so many different people with so many different feelings. I really like to have the approach of like, okay, like I might get along with you, and you might not like someone else that I bring up on the stream, or like a point they make or something. But it doesn't mean you have to, oh my God, I can't like Tetron now because he talked about this one person's thing, right? But my point is that you can agree to disagree sometimes. And just because I bring up certain people's points, like I don't just blindly agree with anyone. Like I've talked about so many different people on here. I've referenced so many different YouTube channels and X accounts and super stonk posts from random Reddit accounts that I've never heard of. I always like enjoy their names. This one is the most normal name I've come across yet. Regional Formal. Usually it's like banana 6299, like, you know what I mean, or something like that. And I mean that's not even a weird one, but Robot Chicken 69. That was my favorite. That was the one I posted the meme of. Shout out to him, man. He posted such a good meme. You see that? Notice anything different about him? That's my quant, and it's Roaring Kitty, like when he's like with the bandage, right? That was so funny. But my point is, you can look at something someone does. You can mostly not agree with what someone does, but if you like one thing, you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting, right? And just because I want to be perfectly clear, anytime I ever bring up another individual on this channel or any other points or another person's posts, I'm not endorsing anyone in any which way. Like, it's just me, guys. I'm a one-man band. But my point is, you can agree to disagree. And listen, some people are going to be, everyone's going to be how they're going to be, right? That's all I'm going to say. But Brance has been good to me this whole time. Ever since I started, he's been shouting me out. He's been very good to me. So I have nothing but respect for him because, again, he's been very kind to me. He shouted me out a lot, and I bet a decent amount of you in the beginning found me because of him. So I've, I know that then also with Ian, like a couple things he's put out, I'm like, okay, he summarizes this pretty decently, right? But again, I don't, not like, oh, I love everything Ian does. Ian talks about a lot of miscellaneous, crazy different stuff, right? And I don't follow any of that with the politics, and it really just makes my head hurt. And it's even beyond politics and this and that. And why am I even going into this, guys? I don't know. I don't know, but spreadsheet makes a huge difference. Scott, yeah, for real, man. I gotta do more of that. Like this Obsidian thing really helped with like getting things organized, and I like because you can put the links in here. I think this was the last GameStop share offer. Maybe we should move this down. Maybe, yeah, the Q1 earnings should be over here. The share offering should be over here. And then we have my little infographics. I have my cash per share when I took that one out because it kept changing lately. And these are competitors. We got Best Buy, Walmart, just to get, reference points of comparing the numbers. And those of you who aren't aware, just a quick side note, I talked about this a while back, but met so many new people since I talked about this. But GameStop implemented this thing called Yobik or Ubik. Excuse me, I'm not sure if I said it right, but yeah, cookies. So pretty much, Quest for Modern Operations, how unified tech and AI transform their frontline experience. Pretty much, they implemented this technology to basically have their own app and like basically upgrade the training. Like when I worked at Marshalls, the training was like on a super old, like literally, I swear it was like Windows XP or like Windows 1. Like I don't even know. It was so old that it was like terrible with the training, right? But pretty much like Ubik gave it gave them a platform now that they can use to have a modern day training, and then also like if a store manager has a question or like a store manager that's training, they basically have their own app or platform to use to go search answers for. Like they have their own AI like built in essentially. Let's see. Streaming complex business practices with 6,000 page standard operating procedure. GameStop's operational complexity requires a sophisticated solution for quick and accurate information retrieval. The introduction of Neo Assistant, Ubik's new chatbot feature. So essentially, they have their own chat GPT built into it, basically allowing them to ask questions about the internal like GameStop policies, right? GameStop manages its complexity. Good friends shared insights into the effectiveness of this tool, noting an impressive 98% accuracy rate in providing answers to queries. And also, as AI is around for longer, and specifically like this AI for them, it gets smarter, right? It gets smarter over time with the more data and information it gets. So this accuracy facilitates immediate problem solving and enables GameStop to identify and fill gaps in documentation, which continues to improve its operational procedures. But you can see, right? Can you pause this? But basically, it's saying like source or transfers and RSBCs, or what do I need to ask customers when they collect BOI PSI orders? And this is going too fast, so you could pause it. But it's basically giving them an answer, and then also giving them a source of like the company information to read up, like on what the policy is or how to go about something, right? So leveraging it for employees and basically strategic partnership with Yobik represents a transformative leap into retail operational efficiency and connectivity. GameStop's not only streamlines complex business operations, Yobik's comprehensive suite of solutions, but also enhanced communication operational oversight. Implementing Yobik's platform across GameStop's vast network underscores the potential for digital tools to revolutionize retail management. So basically trying to connect like the store managers with the warehouse managers and then the executives, right? And obviously how that exactly shakes out, I don't know. And I know what the haters are going to say, right? Like the GameStop bears. Oh, you think this is impressive? Oh my God. You think this is going to make them profitable? You think this is going to do anything good for them? And I'm not saying it's anything groundbreaking. I'm just saying, like, they're doing all the little things right. And when you look at the old management team that was in place prior to Ryan Cohen's entry, damn it, I hate every time I press the space bar. Got to fix this stupid chart. I thought I locked it. Okay, good. Look at GameStop's previous management. They didn't have good analytics in place to keep track of like, okay, well, this we sell a lot of this in store, we sell a lot of this online. Like they didn't have good infrastructure, right? That's one of the first things Ryan Cohen said, like when he wrote to the board or got started with the company, that they had a decaying infrastructure, so they had to really upgrade that. So yes, this is not anything groundbreaking, and I'm sure a lot of companies are evolving to this. Although I'll say the TJX companies, they're like a gazillion years behind on everything. I worked there a few years ago, and the registers were sold. Like, oh, we're finally upgrading them, right? And those of you who don't know, I wound up working my way up to become like assistant manager. So I got a pretty decent amount of experience in retail, dealt with all kinds of crazy things, crazy people, both employees and especially customers, and learned a lot of experiences. But at the same time, met some great people that I'm still in touch with to this day that I used to work with, and also just learned so many life lessons. Like I encourage you, if you're a young individual watching this, work a customer service job. I'm telling you, man, it'll really change your perspective and give you good insight on things, and just a lot of life experience and how to deal with people and deal with craziness and a lot of stuff, right? But they're like, oh, we're gonna upgrade the registers. I'm like, finally, and this was in like 2020 or something. They upgrade them. I'm like, they went from like Windows XP to like Windows 7. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, just a random example. Right? I don't know exactly what it went from what to what, and I forgot the exact like point of sale platform they used, but Crazy. They're like so slow with technology. It's crazy. But they're also a unique business model where people go to Marshalls or TJ Maxx or Home Goods for like the hunt, right? Like you go on Amazon when you need something specific. Like a lot of people just, oh, I need more post-it notes. Just order from Amazon. They'll be here in a couple days, right? But when someone's like, I'm bored, and definitely my girlfriend is one of these people. Like she always says, oh yeah, like I love Marshalls. I love TJ Maxx, right? And I think a lot of, generally speaking, right? And I think a lot of guys do too. I can tell you definitely a lot of guys do too. But generally speaking, especially women who like to shop. And again, like I said, there could be guys too. Because when I worked at Marshalls, there's plenty of guys I saw in there repeatedly. Don't get me wrong. But she's like, yeah, no, of course I love it. It's like I never know what I'm gonna find. And then every time when I was on the register and I worked there too, people would always be like, I came in here for one thing, and then they'd have like a cart full of like a million things, like throwing it on the counter, right? And that's because like, oh my god, I hit the space bar again. That's because the whole theme of it is like the hunt of what am I gonna find? What am I gonna get here, right? Like what's gonna be here today? I'm gonna look through everything. So that's kind of like where I'm going with this is with the PSA cards that GameStop's doing. Like, I find myself checking it a little more frequently to see like, hey, what cards do they have right now? Like, what latest sports cards do they have? Because I got a couple. I got my boy CJ Stroud. I honestly think this will be worth much more in the future. I look at this as like an alternative asset investment. I wish I could have got PSA 10, but they only had PSA 9. And to be honest, PSA 10 would have cost significantly more. And as I said before, I'm trying to be as frugal as possible right now for various reasons. Then we got Justin Jefferson, highest paid receiver in the league, absolute stud. Can you guys see it all right on there? Not amazingly, but yeah. So I got these couple, and I find myself checking. I'm like, is there anyone else I want to pick up? I check the hockey ones and the football ones because those are my two favorite sports to watch. But I feel like there's more demand probably for football ones. Not as many people feel like are as interested in hockey, especially in U.S. at least. But I love hockey. And on that, I don't know if the Oilers are gonna be able to win, man. After they played last night, Ryan Sung, if you're here, bro, I know you're a big hockey guy. We always kind of like chat about it towards the end of the stream. I don't know if the Oilers are going to be able to pull it off if they play like last night. They're going to have to really turn things around because Florida just looks unreal right now, especially their goalie Bobrovsky. But oh man, what a ride! All right, let's hit the chat. Let's hit the chat. Chat's moving so quick. I appreciate you guys so much. Really, thank you so much for being here. If you drop a like, it's so greatly appreciated. All option IV is crazy. You're right, Dirty Bird. You are right, but I feel like especially with GameStop. Let's see. Oop. My chat's getting messed up. I got Sword Friday. I'm back. No debt is key. Exactly, Scott. Absolutely. If Jimmy squeeze an AMC too. No, Tao. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I truly believe, and of course, it's just my oh so humble opinion, that AMC is the distraction. They are not the same. It's grouped with GameStop, but they are truly not the same. Exercising started Friday. It'll continue through early next week. Do you think Warren Kitty will roll exercise? Toy, yeah, that's a good point. He could theoretically roll. No one's really talked about that, so thank you for bringing that up and thank you for being here. But honestly, I don't know. Given his previous activity, right? Like you look at his previous YOLO updates. Let's see. Deep effing value. R slash, no. 5.1 million karma. And it's crazy. I love it. He has no literal face, right? Go back to some of his oldest ones. He had all those calls and he exercised all of them, right? Let's see. He was updating the position. Then final update. On the date of expiration, he exercised all of them, right? And that took his cost basis from 26.79 to 55.17. But remember, split adjusted. So it basically went from 13, half of that, about from $6.50 to about $11 when he exercised all those, and he doubled his share position because he had 500 contracts, right? Crazy. So, and obviously that was a very different time, but it's crazy. He paid 20 cents for them, and the current price of them was 181. Insane. Diamond balls, man, for real. Some have diamond hands. DFV has diamond kahunas, I swear. But look at all the other ones too, like previously. See, he had the other ones. He had the January 15th, 2021. And then January 13th came. And then by the 14th, he had exercised them, right? Because he went from 50,000. Oh, no, for those ones, I'm sorry, those ones he had actually sold. So he doesn't exercise every time, and this is where it's good to look back, right? Let's zoom in a little more. Because if he had all of these and he had 50,000 shares. Yeah, so he didn't exercise those. Those he sold for cash because he went from 1.1 billion or million to 2.6. But also obviously his portfolio grew a lot since then. And what's crazy is this is before the sneeze or hiccup, whatever you want to call it from that time, right? And obviously, also another point I wanted to make that I forgot to say the last couple streams. Do you really think in Roaring Kitty's wildest dreams, when he started doing these YouTube videos and streams and YOLO updates, that he would be where he is today? Think about it. He only started 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure his first GameStop purchase and like streams were nearly like, I'm pretty sure it was exactly 5 years ago to the day that he did his most recent stream. So I'm pretty sure June 7th, 2019 was his first ever stream, or maybe it was his first ever Reddit post. His cake day, like the day he created his Reddit account, is August 29th, 2019. So it seems like around 2019 he kind of got started with posting online. Only 5 years later, do you think in his wildest dreams he could have ever imagined being where he is today and all the different things going on, right? Crazy. Maybe I will. Let's see. What was the maybe you should use that 1.1 million to buy more shares. You've been sitting on that cash for a while. Maybe I will. It's so funny when I get a comment. I already did. Let's go back, and then you also had $20 calls, and then those were, oh sorry, the $10 calls. He had exercised those because then you got to 50,000 or accumulated some shares. Well, if you had 1,000 call options times 100, that's 100,000. So no, he didn't. Yeah, because you have 1,000 call contracts times 100. You add 2 zeros, 100,000. So at this point, like looking back as I'm just going back through here, I love this one. And at this point, this is when it really started to move, like around Christmas to holidays. And I think at that point, it was already like, wow, this is wild. Like, look at these gains. Look at this guy who's been posting in here for a while. And then it took on a whole mind of its own in January 2021. But what I'm trying to show here, or I'm kind of realizing in real time, is he didn't always. Classic. What's an exit strategy? This has been quoted so many times. Truly a unique comment, right? And it's so funny looking back at this. This is something too that you see this posted every once in a while, like what's an exit strategy? Every so often over these past 3+ years before he even returned, right? It's just crazy this journey he's been on. Like I think my journey's epic and exciting, and all of ours as individuals is. But imagine his journey. That's all I'm saying here. But and it looks at like at this point in time, like he was just holding, holding, holding. But here he had, let's see, he had $15 ones as well at some point that he wound up selling from the 25th to November 25th to the end of 2020. So he didn't always, and he went from 510,000 in cash to 1.1 billion in cash. So he didn't always exercise, right? So there is no guarantee that he exercises these options. Like I think you should expect the unexpected. Oh my god, it's crazy. Look at these 7 cents for those. Look at that cost base. It's crazy. Or 7 cents, $7, whatever. You guys get the point. So it's not guaranteed that he exercises, right? He's got big kahunas though, so I wouldn't rule it out. But I think what the most likely scenario is, to be honest with you guys, is he sells some of them. He sells enough, like I was saying before, maybe like one fourth, to then exercise the remaining shares. I think that's probably the most likely scenario. Of course, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm not from the future. Maybe Roaring Kitty is. I don't know. But again, this is all just food for thought here, and I think it's interesting to look back on like all of his posts after all this time. You stop watching Sony Workshop both release consoles without discs. Let's see. I'm like scared to open this, but interesting. Okay. I'm always scared to open random links, but it's deep value. I trust him. I trust him. It's deep effing value. AKA Keith Gill. AKA Roaring Kitty. All right, and he's at this point he's like commenting a lot of people and stuff because at this point they're calling him crazy. He's like, Oh, this was a little after they were calling him crazy. Okay, maybe this guy's actually onto something here. This is nuts. And as you see, for a long period of time here, as I've been scrolling through, he's only had 10,000 shares, and he was selling He was selling calls on the way up, and obviously it was a very different time period. But I'm just saying, anything is possible, guys. Anything's possible. And we could go on and on forever here, but for a very long period of time, he did only have 10,000 shares. Although here, it looks like he exercised some, or maybe he sold some options and then bought calls because he had the 8, 10, 15, 20, 12. 8, okay, oh, 6. Okay. So those, maybe he exercised some of those and then sold some, although he was down on those in particular at that period of time. So, again, just be mentally prepared for anything and everything with GameStop. I think that's the best way to go about it, whether you're new here or you've been around a while with the stock. Just be ready for anything, because that's the nature of the stock. Like, so many ups. Oh, dark mode, so much better. Looks way sharper now. So many ups and downs, right? I've been through so many ups and downs, so at this point I can truly say, like, I really feel like immune to the volatility and the craziness and the noise. And I always know, I'm like, everything seems so good right now. What's the catch? What's the catch? What's going to happen right now? What's going to happen when we don't see it, right? When the share offering comes, I'm like, all right, here we are, right? So, that is key. Destiny bought NVIDIA on stream last week. All-time high regrets, people are warning him. Rip. Honestly, I'm not familiar with Destiny, but listen, I think in the long term, right, if you have a 5 to 10 year time horizon, the reality of it is NVIDIA is probably going to be worth more at that point, 5 to 10 years from now. And I would say I could be fairly certain that 5 years from now it'll probably be worth more, barring that we don't have some kind of insane market crash or anything like that. And though, because there's been speculation that it's like, oh, they're cooking the books, they're making it look better than it is, right? And I haven't read into that too much. I've just kind of seen it in passing, so I take that again with the utmost grain of salt, because I haven't read into it. But unless there's a crazy situation like that, reality of it is it probably worth more in 5 years from now. But given how much it's run up, I would personally wait. Like, if I wanted to be in it, I would personally wait for a dip of some kind. But also, I just feel like it's valued so high. Like, I don't know. And again, I haven't done too much research on NVIDIA. I've looked into it a little bit. And again, to clarify, like, I encourage everyone to look into other stocks just to gain perspective and understanding. And even if you only want to be in GameStop, that's fine. Just keep learning. Like, keep learning is so key, for real. Can't roll. You'll exercise. Oh, okay, Dirty Bird, makes sense. Let's see, short NVIDIA only. Yeah, honestly, I think there might be some money to be made with NVIDIA on a short right now, especially after the split, but I don't know. I'm not really into that. So, is the shareholder meeting on Thursday? Yes, Liam. Yes, it is. Thank you. I completely forgot to bring that up this whole time. Although, same thing, I wouldn't expect too much from that. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy come up. Maybe, it's not entirely out of the question, but I don't expect anything too major, to be honest with you guys. Isn't it funny on Roaring Kitty's stream? All he had was this on the screen, right? This was literally... He didn't even have this. He just had, like, this was his screen, the whole stream. And he's like, cheers, everybody. Like, it was awesome. Yes, Pelosi will drive NVIDIA into at GameStop for the win. For real, though, she's market manipulator. Actual. Yeah, Keenan, for real. Like, she's the greatest example, right? But the reality of it is it happens on the left and it happens on the right. But she's just the most notorious. And as they say, the best trader of all time, right? So if she bought GameStop, that's the ultimate bullish indicator. To the moon confirmed. Price point of $1 gazillion guaranteed if if Nancy Pelosi buys GameStop. That's the ultimate, right? I mean, Ryan Kitty has nothing more to say. Exactly, weirdo. Exactly. Listen, there's not too much he could say, too. He says anything slightly out of line. Hello? Oh, yes, this is the SEC. We'd like to ask you a few questions, sir, right? Or some baloney, but... Tetron, Whiskey, what? Oh my god, I'm so behind in the chat. I don't think it's that simple to roll 120,000 options. Yes, you're absolutely right, Dirty Bird. In hindsight, you're absolutely right. But AMC will not follow GME as much anymore, in my opinion. I agree, Dirty Bird. I agree. And again, no financial advice from me either. That's not the business I'm in. But, oh man, I got to just scroll ahead, guys. I'm so behind in the chat. Wow, I didn't realize this. I thought this was scrolling automatically over here. I just realized I'm probably literally 30 plus minutes behind, so I apologize. But yeah, rolling would be very difficult considering them. So, I just joined. What does the offering mean? JR, it means they have 4.1 billion in cash that they can choose what to do with. I don't think they'll do anything right now, but they can earn a lot of cash. And we did the math back here with our assistant ChatGPT, and they can earn about 207.5 million at a 5% interest rate on their current cash pile until they do ultimately decide what they want to do with the cash. And those of you that maybe weren't here before, asked ChatGPT a little interesting question here. Again, take this with a grain of salt, but I thought it was just a little interesting insight. So, confirmed by future sources familiar with the matter. Exactly, badass. Exactly. Future sources familiar with the matter are saying Roaring Kitty is a time traveler. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so behind in the chat. Oh my gosh. Or I don't know. Everything's just bouncing all around. Math checks out. Yes, sir. Boomer. I guess it works out. Math is 4. Yeah, I think that's when we were going through this, right? Crazy. Speaking of smash the like, everyone boost for GME and free support if you do for Tetron. Patrick, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. If you guys could drop a like, that is greatly appreciated. I hope they don't do it again for a long time. Ryan Cohn lose support. But yeah, I see where you're coming from because it's like they have done plenty at this point and they have plenty of cash. Again, the fact they completed the share offering in a 3-month period, a 3-day period to me is absolutely remarkable, right? The last one, 6 days, they sell 45 million shares at an average price point of 2074. They sell in only 3 days 75 million shares at an average price of even higher, 28.49, and now they have 4.15 billion in cash. It's just insane they were able to do that, right? Like, what other stock could do that? And then on top of it, its low was $10. Like when you look at just a few months ago, right? If you look at, or a month and a half, the start of May, or a little bit before that, pretty much the low of the stock was 10.01, right? So about $10 from 10 to 30 to use simple numbers. Stock is up 200% despite 45 million diluted and then another 75 million. So 120 million shares diluted, and then the average price per share that it was sold at, when you math it out, considering like the weight of each, the 45 million and 75, is an average price point of 25.58 per share. And yet it's still at $30.49 right now. And obviously we'll see what happens tomorrow. Anything could happen. Be mentally prepared for anything. But isn't that crazy? What a story. What a story. Oh my goodness. All right, are we almost up on the oh my god, this just keeps going. You guys are so awesome for real. I don't think he's going to roll. He follows through it in what he says and he memes using I'll do it again meme. It's true, badass. Yeah, that's a very valid point. Yeah, Capital in the house. What up? And Anthony, I saw you back there too. Let me see what you said real quick. Oh man, I can't even, bro. I'm sorry. Everything's all over the place. Damn, this is crazy, guys. You guys are so awesome in the chat. This is genuinely the first time I really can't keep up with everything. It's a countdown to exercising. 6 arrows, 5 in a cat, 4 fingers, 3 bananas, 2 dudes. And Lexi might be wanting on board too. Diamond Hands, I mean, thanks for being here. Like your name. I don't totally oppose the idea of him being on the board. You know, even just simply as a brand ambassador, that's what Morantz was saying in the Spaces calls in. It makes sense, right? I don't know how he would necessarily benefit the company. I mean, he certainly could, right? I certainly think he's capable, but even I'm saying just simply to be a brand ambassador, right? Like that would be pretty crazy. We're changing the old way to a new way. The tweet old manager has the GameStop power sign representing GameStop. Michael from The Office is Kitty. GameStop deal is Kitty. Interesting. Tinfoil, but my taste. I like it. Handshake Meek share offering done. Maybe they're turning all GameStops into mini strip clubs and vertical gaming. Oh my god. Wendy, what up? What up? Handshake could represent many things, but in the office, that's the moment that Michael gets hired. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, see, I gotta look back. I never actually watched all of them backwards. I know a lot of people were saying like that was interesting, and then someone had thrown the idea out there. I forgot who mentioned it to me. I think it's a welcoming place on X. You might be in the chat. You might have seen him before. Basically saying that when you watch in a reverse, it's like the Wolverine is underwater. Wolverine, the hedge fund, is underwater right now because they're short GameStop, maybe, but that could be anything at this point. Could his chief investment officer be epic? I mean, hey, listen, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Speculative course could be anything, exactly. Badass, hope you're doing well, man. Appreciate seeing you in the chat. Pattern day trader, long 1,000 shares of GME. Hey, wish you best of luck. Sounds like you're a trader, so I wish you the best of luck. Me? I just like the stock. I buy and hold. You know, capital in the house. Keep exercising. Gamma Squeeze is going to do it himself. Yeah, that's true. I always do think back of the what's that movie? Oh my gosh. Avengers Endgame. Fine. I'll do it myself. Who wants a hamburger? Hamburger, please. What was that guy's name that used to make a thing? My friend showed it to me. It was one of those things when I was younger. Like, it got stuck in our head. It was like, we have to be like, hamburger, please. Like, every time we saw it, right? It was so funny, but it seems so weird now. Keith Gill posted a tweet 2021. The Cats playing cards and the Uno cards hand spell out the June 21st, 2024 date. It's crazy. I don't get too tin, but that's too wild. You know, Patrick, I saw that, and that's where I'm like, this man might just be a time traveler. I do not know. Is that potential anymore? 2.1 billion raised, yes sir. 2.1 billion in this offering, 933 in the previous. About net of roughly 3.1. Now they got about 4.15 billion in cash total and cash equivalents, marketable securities. He doesn't use the snap, he'll just do it himself, but he could do it in increments, but my guess would be all in one. But he may need to close some to afford to exercise, so we'll see. Exactly, Bass, exactly. That's what I was thinking. With all that cash, with GME transition to a holding company, something like that isn't exclusive as a gaming company. Ready Player 2559, it could happen. You know, it just depends how they enact on the investment policy. I was saying before, I think it's very possible that it's a situation where they're waiting for, like, they're going to keep just earning a lot of cash because right now, as it stands, if they over a 1 year period on 4.15 billion in cash, they would earn 207.5 million dollars of interest income at a 5% rate, right? So they could just keep accumulating interest income to pad their net profit and just kind of keep floating around and operating as is until they seek the perfect opportunity and they can pounce on it. And especially if we're in a time that's a recession or market pullback, they can acquire something for a lesser price point, right? Than what they would now in this like forever bull market, as I've been calling it, right? What is 17 million of outstanding shit? I agree with Tetron. Tetron's from the future. Hey, badass, your words, not mine. You could be from the future for all I know. I don't know. But AMZ boards got their 210,000 shares, so expect them to sell soon. Whiskey, didn't it get shot down, though? I thought it got shot down in the offering or the compensation package, but I don't know. What is 17 million of outstanding percent? 17 million of, let's see. 17 million, what percentage, using my assistant here, is 17 million of, what is it? When is all complete? Look at the exact number. Let's see. Oh, I'm breaking this. It's about 4% of the shares outstanding after the offering of the shares. But let's say even, you know, he just exercises some of them. He might wind up with, I don't know, 13 million shares, 14 million shares, 12 million shares, and that's still significant, right? Like, let's say a more minor case scenario, 12 million. What percentage of 12 million is, or let's just see what I just put. Just change it. Be quick here. Quick, quick, quick. That's what streaming's all about, right? Gotta be on the ball. Even just 12 million equate to 2.82%. Still would make him like one of the largest holders. Let's take a quick look here. Although this isn't the best place to look at holders. And also, these institutional shares, this is very out of date. I would imagine many institutions have added shares over these past like 2 months or so. Obviously, we'll see. The filings are delayed. These are the last reported as of March 31st. We've had a lot of price action, a lot for GameStop since March 31st. So these could have changed very much so, but he would be right up here, right? He would be right underneath BlackRock and Vanguard. He would be bigger than State Street, right? Already, he's the fourth largest holder, right? If you called him, let's say, Roaring Kitty Capital, he would be like right in here, right, with his 5 million shares. But then also with his call options, that would put him right up here in between BlackRock and State Street, which you're talking about the big, big boys when you're talking about them, right? So, and again, those numbers are out of date. So take institutional numbers for GameStop right now with a grain of salt because it is going to take some time for them to update, and especially given the price action for GameStop as of late, nobody truly knows, right, what the institutional shares look like right now. So, see board. Oh, Lithium Americas really recently had a loan offer to the U.S. Department of Energy. Okay, Michael. I dig Richard Newton, but for the longest time I was trying to figure out who he sounded like, and I finally got it. Kip Dynamite. Next time you're watching this vid, close your eyes and you can hear it. I'm not familiar with him, but I'm interested. No, listen, I think Richard's a genuine guy, and I'm really happy for all his success. And I watched that one video he had recently, and I'm not gonna lie, like that really made me tear up. I don't know if you guys know the one I'm talking about, where he's really getting deep, and I wish him all the best. Really, I shout out to him. Like I wish him all the best. Like he just seems like such a genuine guy, and just wanting to solve the puzzle, right? Like that's kind of what he says a lot. I'm just trying to solve the puzzle, and he's like, yeah, I've been wrong a lot, and I think he's just so genuine, and I appreciate his videos. I really do. I don't watch them all. I try to watch as many as I can, but I do appreciate it. So also, I see it offering $5 to raise 270 million, now trading at 3 for a rebound. Interesting. Okay. It says RK posted on X. Oh, Richard Newton has at least 11,000 shares, by the way. Damn, Richard Newton is a whale compared to me. But listen, also, guys, I'm a young individual. I don't think anyone has to share their exact share position. But for me, what I have is very significant to me. I will definitely say that. But again, remember, I'm a young individual. I'm only about to turn 24 this month. So I've only had so much time to accumulate wealth. And I had expenses earlier in my life, whether it be car, college, all that. So I've had to grind, but I've grinded, and like I was saying before, become more and more frugal and accumulate shares of GameStop and other assets. But wait a minute, did he post? Is that what you're saying? Are you trolling me? Let's see. See, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen's stake in company falls. This is literally crazy that this is a headline. Like, it's such a joke. Remember this clown? And you too will lose money. You buy GME and pumps for the pump said, ha. That's how I always read his tweets. Ha! Like when he tweets this stuff. It's so weird. Whatever. I think guys like him, Martin Chittarelli, all those types of people, right? They just enjoy the engagement. They don't even care that everyone's just hating on them and presenting them with facts on why they're speaking nonsense, but they just enjoy the attention. I really think that's what it is. So, let's see. Did he post? Did he post? Oh, that's what you guys are saying about the Michael Scott. Okay, see, I am literally so far behind. Okay. Damn, guys, my bad. I'm so far behind. Like I said, I am not used to this in the chat. You guys are showing me so much love right now. I appreciate all of you so much. But Kitty grabbing a seat on the board? Ordinary Adam. This guy is so funny. His thing is just like, F you. Like, or shut the F up. Like, it's just funny how people, like, something kind of just becomes their thing. Like, that's kind of just become his thing. I love this guy, Roaring Pika. Roaring Pika, this man never sleeps. Someone tell this guy to go take a nap. I just love the memes. Let's see. Let's read through everything. Halt, stop. Greg, classic Greg, always pulling up. CEO Cohen, didn't even spell Cohen right. Roaring Kitty, CEO plus Keith Gill. Will Kitty be on the board? Maybe when you take your board seat. That one gets a like. Corbin needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Dude, this guy, Daniel, man. He opens like a gazillion cards, man. Every time I'm on Twitter, this guy's opening like 20,000 packs. It's crazy. Arrow Flip, I always see him posting a bunch. Everyone like that. Doing Kitty, yo, shout out White Rabbit 741. Shout out this guy, Satsem. I didn't follow him too recently ago, but he's always got some dope art stuff going on. Cats in the Bag, Dizzy. Wild Roaring Kitty has appeared. Do you follow? Got any more of them tweets? After all these years, and again, guys, I apologize for so far in the chat. Now it makes sense when you're talking about the handshake. I'm like, handshake? What are they talking about? Did I miss that one? I don't know. But yeah, so like I said, I'm not used to this in the chat. You guys are showing me so much love. I really appreciate it so much. It's been hard to keep up. For all these years as a kid, I sought victory at all costs, only to find defeat again and again. Now, after all these years, I've come back to settle this once and for all. I love that this is the biggest meme right now. This is so funny. And when he started the stream, and they have his stream live on CNBC, like, that is a moment that's going down in history. Like, that was truly hilarious. Like, the biggest of trolls, if you think about it. Because he knew all eyes were on him. He's like, all right, I'm just going to mess around to start the stream. And also, I was confused. I'm like, what's going on? Like, and then part of me thought, too, when it started, it's like, beep, 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 right? I thought he was gonna, and he was like, ugh. I thought he was just gonna end the stream right there, right? I part of me really thought like he was actually gonna end the stream after just doing that, just to 100% troll the mainstream media. But it was actually really nice to hear what he had to say. And he was obviously to be very careful, very simple. And then when he was doing the Magic 8 Ball, right? Sorry, Slinky's the closest thing to me, so I keep using that for reference. He was like, "Should I? Should I?" Like he was like hesitating, and it was almost like, there was other speculation. Was he saying like, "Should I exercise my calls? Should I?" Right? I don't know. All just food for thought. But Keith Gill and Ryan Cohen talk about bootstrapping GameStop value from future offerings. I see what you did there, Pattern Integrity Films. Bruh. Bruh. That was a classic office scene. Max Future. Keith, what a day. We like the stock. B-Strat. She's all over Twitter. It's crazy. Huge account. She's grown so much since I started following her. Couldn't agree more. Badass trader. Yes, sir. I couldn't either, so I'll drop a like on that. Let's see. So many memes. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's happening. It's happening. Nice. RK joins GME. It could. It could. Bro, what the heck? This is one of those videos like you don't even have to volume on and you could just kind of hear it in your head. But let's think, guys. Anyone have a good response I should drop down here right now? Do I have any good memes on tap here? I don't think so. Nothing too good. See, I don't want to put, like I have all these miscellaneous. I don't want to do the GameStop underwater ones. So I'm like, oh, you're saying GameStop's like underwater? I'm like, no. Improvise, adapt, overcome. I don't know. I don't have any good ones. Anyone has any good ones? Let me know. Let's see, it's a new post, not the reverse memes. Thank you, Bass. Sorry. See, I'm finally getting caught up in the chat here. Kim, thanks for being here. I have to stay tuned until the 21st now. Me too, man. Me too. Or girl, sorry. Yeah. Hi guys. I'm trying to get in. What would a good entry point be? Should I buy at 30? Z-Man, thanks for being here. Appreciate you being new to the channel. Anyone that knows me will know this, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not in the business of creating short-term price predictions. I've been kind of just documenting the journey as I go, just sharing my opinions, calling things as I see it. And I've gotten short-term predictions wrong many, many times before. But at the end of the day, you got to make your own decisions if you want to ban it or not. And if you do like it for the long term, I think, all right, pick up some shares. It goes down, pick up some more shares. It goes up, pick up some more shares, right? Dollar cost average in. That'd be my general recommendation if you do want to ultimately choose to buy the stock. But you got to also decide where you're at as an individual. Are you a trader? Are you just looking to get in and then looking to get out at a certain price point? Then you got to kind of have maybe not a limit order, but just a point in your mind. If you're going to be in it for the long term, then I wouldn't think too hard about it. But again, got to make the own decision that's best for you at the end of the day. But let everyone in the chat let you know what they think, because at the end of the day, I don't give financial advice, my friend, but I appreciate you being here and do what's best for you. And just never, ever, ever, this goes for everyone, invest more than you can afford to lose. No matter how much you like the stock or the Bitcoin or the asset or the this or the that, never, ever, ever invest more than you can afford to lose. You don't want to be losing sleep at night over your investment. It's just not worth it. See, filed today, 22,106 shares each. Crazy. BlackRock buys GME. Yeah, Jusev, that the reality of it is BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they own pretty much the world, right? And then we can get into a really deep comp, right? But you realize they pretty much own everything. And it gets complex because when BlackRock owns a lot of it, BlackRock has a lot of funds, and then in like the small cap fund, like the GameStop, some GameStop shares would be in that. Then also they could be loaning them out for other different things, right? So it gets very complicated with that. But we're on Kitty Capital, yes sir. Oh, with a K, I like that. I like that. Richard Newton seems like a nice guy. Lots of research. Yeah, Kim, for real. And seeing him grow over this whole time, right? Like a lot of people, like I've grown a lot, and a lot of other individuals, I'm sure you guys watching this have grown in your own various ways, but he's absolutely grown a lot. And I don't just mean the numbers on his channel, but he's absolutely grown a lot in his knowledge. And he was saying, like, yeah, I don't have any background in stocks. Like, he was just a math teacher. I think he does, he's some kind of school administrator now. But yeah, seems like a cool guy. Maybe at some point do a little like podcast conversation or something. But I think he said in one of his videos, like, he has a lot going on right now, and he's just gonna do his own thing, and I totally respect that. It's totally fine. But Z-Man, only put in what you can afford to lose. Like if you can lose it and just feel bad for a day, that's what you should put in. Exactly, Kim. Exactly. Kitty on the GameStop board. Geronimo, what up? Thanks for being here. Did I say that right? Yeah, Geronimo. Yes, sir. I could see it honestly. I mean, think about it. All the other GameStop board of directors members of the board all own shares of GameStop. He already owns plenty of shares, so he definitely checks that box, right? And again, even if he's just like a brand ambassador, does something really simple. Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh my gosh, it would be. Wait, we gotta drop a like on this. Again, anyone has a good response maybe I should throw on there? I'm trying to think of something here, or maybe after. Can you tell me what the bandages meant? DW, honestly, I think he was just messing around. Like, I think he was just trolling. Like, he was just like, because everyone's just assuming, like, oh, he's gone. Where is he? Is he dead? Oh my gosh, right? Like, I think he was just straight up trolling with that. I don't think the bandages themselves had, like, anything too specific. Quick, everyone make random comments to make it hard for Tetron to keep up. Yeah, for real, badass. Listen, bro. It took me, like, a gazillion years to get to where I am now because it's like, part of the whole game of streaming is like I love the chat and like interacting with you guys, but like I want to keep it flowing at the same time, so I'm trying to like balance it as much. So you guys have probably seen it. I try and go through like my main points and then go through things in the chat and then kind of bounce back and forth from there. So yeah, finally getting caught up, right? Unless my chat's not caught up, but bench from Super Red Day beating up his portfolio. Not a bad theory, Diamond Hands. Not a bad theory. He got his ass kicked by Congress and Hedges trolling. And Hedges trolling? Okay, my comment is random. No, you're good. That makes sense, Dirty Bird. Z-Man also learned about trailing stop losses. Fair enough. If you're trading, that's definitely a fair point. I can finally pay my cell phone bill today for GME ending positive. Adventures with Shogun Solo? Listen, bro, I'm definitely happy for you with that, but just be, very careful, man. Like, if you're going to trade the stock, just know it can go up, down, left, right, sideways circles, and just do what's best for yourself, please. Please, like, just make sure you stick to your budget and know where you're at as an individual. It's for some people, 100 shares is nothing. For other people, 100 shares is a lot, right? And just know thyself. Like, knowing thyself is so, so important. I'm waiting for the AMC to show how this new tweet is bullish on AMC. Yeah, listen, Whiskey, there's always theories out there. But that's the craziness of the internet, but also in a way the beauty of the internet. That you have all these crazy ideas out there, all these people throwing all these different things out there. And it is a lot of nonsense a lot of times, but just gotta sift through it, man. Water break. Keenan, is it that time? I've already basically drank through all this water, but Richard does make great videos. Jesse, he does. He's awesome, man. Cottonmouth. For real, Dirty Bird. For real. When I start yapping away, I do get cottonmouth. I do see a trash can in the meme, so yes, it's bullish on AMC. Wish you got jokes, for real. Also, don't trade when drinking. Experience here. Kim, I think that's a great point. Yeah, do not do that. If you're smoking the good stuff or you're drinking or under the influence of anything, I would recommend do not trade, do not gamble, do not, like when you're in the casinos or whatever, because that's what casinos are, right? Just a trap for that. And the stock market is basically the biggest casino in the world if you really think about it. So I was just kidding. Okay, good. Adventure's good. I don't know, man. I don't know. You never truly know, man. So I was like, oh, geez, this guy for real, man. Oh no, please, bro, don't be stressing over your phone bill. That sucks. Like stressing over money sucks. I mean, listen, everyone stresses over money, right? Like I definitely do. And I mean, I'm not stressed like, oh my god, like what am I gonna do like tomorrow or something like that. But I'm always like, I need more, and I think everyone feels that way, right? But I do not need more like, oh, I need this nice car or that. Like I'm just, I need a lot to start my life here. And like that's my perspective. But everyone's again in their own boat. But what contingencies would Andrew or any other major shorter have to protect themselves if the cat exercises? Sorry, Keenan, let me reread that. What contingencies would Andrew or any other major shorter have to protect themselves if the cat exercises in the gold? Keenan, we would have to see. We would absolutely have to see. If he exercises, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know. I mean, I know he'll have a lot of shares. I do know that, but volatility is low when passed out. Okay, makes sense. I average up the best after a few drinks. Hey, fair enough, Whiskey. Pancakes or waffles? Me, okay, if we're talking Belgian waffles are good. A good Belgian waffles, but at the same time, like pancakes slap. If it's a solid Belgian waffle, I would go with that. But if it's like Eggos versus like just random waffles versus random pancakes, I guess pancakes. I don't know. But for me, I'm a big omelet guy. When I go to the diner, I love a good omelet or just a classic like American breakfast. Or this restaurant I was at over the weekend when I was with some friends was called, or the meal I got was called American breakfast, and it was just eggs, home fries, choices of sausage or bacon, personally choose sausage. I feel like I always have bacon on my burgers, so that's why I don't really have it with breakfast. But oh man, it slaps so good. And then some white toast on the side with some butter, jelly. Woo, so good. I love breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, honestly. Let's see. Oh, having trouble keeping up here. Drinking is good to buy high and sell low. It's true. Blue waffle. Whoa, Keenan. I remember when I was really young, it's like, hey, bro, look up what that means. Luckily, I was not one of the people that was victimized by that. So, Eggo versus Besquick. Or Bisquick. I guess I'd have to say Eggo. I don't know if I've had Bisquick, honestly, but sorry, millennial. You're getting. I feel like GameStop is going to come out with the craziest announcement. Omar, thank you for being here. It's certainly possible. It's been quite a while since they've done anything major. They've done the small stuff. They launched CandyCon. I really want to see them do more private label brand stuff, like expand upon CandyCon, offer more private label brands to just keep expanding. The PSA cards is cool, seeing them get into that, but something major truly hasn't happened in a while. So we'll see, though. We'll see. Artist calls naked. If so, look out, Jimmy. For real. When I drink, everything looks like a great deal. Note, it's not. For real, Kim. For real. And me, like I was saying before, earlier in the stream, like, I'm a friendly drunk where, I'm like, oh, I'll buy you a beer. You're a nice guy. You're great. Oh, yeah, I'll do this. So for me, that's what screws me when I drink. Like, I get too friendly. Like, oh, you know what? More drinks. Woohoo. Like, I got you, bro. I got you, man. Right? And then it's crazy. Can GameStop purchase Steam or a large portion? Keenan, I don't know about that. I think Steam is just too ginormous at this point. Sure, maybe they could buy into a little stake of it, but I think from Steam's perspective, like, why would they want to do that? Like, they're so massive at this point. But, all right. We're going for the Tetron water break. Morance's the water break is poured on his head. Mine is send it like a beer. That's a pretty poor chug, but not too bad. Not too bad. And it's good to be hydrated, so can't complain, right? Look at this. Double empty water bottles during the stream. That's how you know I'm yapping a lot. Has anyone ever been naked? Once or twice. Once or twice in my life. Usually though I just shower with all my clothes on, Dirty Bird, honestly. Oh, drinks on you at the bar. For real, adventures, for real. Like, we're just having a good combo. That always how it goes. I'm like, I got you, bro. Like, and then after, I'm like, how did I spend so much? But if it's good friends, I don't care, right? Like, if it's like my close friends, like, they got me, I got them, like, whatever, man. Like, it's all good. So, oh man, what a journey. All right, I'm trying to think of something to comment here. Let's see. Maybe just great moments are born from great opportunity. That's one of my favorite quotes. It's from the movie Miracle, about when the U.S. team beat the Russian hockey team way back when, and it was like around the time of the Cold War, so that's why it had a lot of significance too. And U.S. was so not likely to win, right? It was like just a team of a lot of young guys. And the quote before the game, he's like, "What you have here tonight, boys, is a great opportunity. And great opportunities don't always come around. Great moments are born from great opportunity." And I'm paraphrasing there, but great moments are born from great opportunity is like the main quote. And it's true. That's what I think GameStop has. A great a great moment can come because of this great opportunity they have that occurred in January 2021, where they were able to, or even you could just go even farther back than that, right? Like Ryan Cohen becoming majority owner, wiping out the board, bringing in his own board members, cutting costs on the company, right? Like, look how much they've cut SG&A over these past couple of years. And again, this isn't just gonna, the Bears are always saying, "Oh, you think just cutting costs is gonna do everything for this company?" I'm like, no, it's more, it's deeper than that, right? Like, it's a very unique situation, but they've just gotten themselves into a spot where they can succeed. Like, they have an opportunity because they paid off all the high interest debt that they had on the balance sheet. They cut their costs dramatically, as you can see here on the screen. They got rid of the board of directors that was embedded with people that were, in my opinion, trying to just drive the company into the ground and just making poor decisions. They literally had a private jet for the board of directors. Like, give me a break. They weren't closing unprofitable stores. Their technology was years and years behind. So it seemed like inevitable for bankruptcy. When Ryan Cohen comes in and completely turns the whole ship around, in terms of all those things I just mentioned. And yes, there's still a long way to go. Like they have to execute to really drive forwards. Like I truly believe, as I'm getting at here, they can create a great moment from this great opportunity of this turnaround that's taken place, and now it's about driving forwards and executing and doing that next big thing or next big things. Parenthesis S, right? Maybe it's multiple things, and the only reason they have that opportunity is because of Ryan Cohen and what happened in January 2021, and partly Roaring Kid, like everything basically that happened in late 2020 into early 2021. That was the opportunity. That was the great opportunity for GameStop, and now a great moment can truly be born. Although I wouldn't say it's one, because to me this whole damn journey is so great, and just like so many ups and downs mentally, so much learning, meeting so many people along the way, and that's the coolest part to me. That, like saying it before, say it again, people being more and more frugal and educated on the stock market. I think that's really incredible thing that's come out of all this. But great moments are born from great opportunity. GameStop has the you guys are getting like behind the scenes when I go to tweet. Maybe a GIF in there. Let's see. Or go to my folder. This one I haven't used yet, guys. Do you guys think I should post this one? I always thought for like one of the thumbnails. I don't even know. I think I typed in like skinny guy with brown hair, like myself walking into a GameStop store, and I don't know why it generated like this. But you guys think I should be using this one at some point for the thumbnail? Let me know. This one? The alien with the kill shot? I don't know. Maybe this one. Great moments are born from great opportunity. Are you joining the board? Arch, but maybe. Kitty about to join the board. I don't know, something like that. I gotta think about it. Let's see. Valve is 10 billion. Won't happen. Noah Williams, what up? Thanks for being here. My name is actually Noah too. Those of you that didn't know, my name is not Tetron. My name is actually Noah. That's just my screen name here. So nice name, bro. You built the Ark just like me. So yeah, no, 10 billion is a whole lot. So definitely don't think that's gonna be the case. GameStop purchases Unity. C-Spill99, thanks for being here. I'm not too familiar with them. I'd have to look that up, but if it's small, it's possible. I wonder if GameStop will somehow created a hype market for physical games, such as how Nike slash the sneaker industry did to stay relevant. Keenan, I would say not necessarily in my opinion, but at the same time, I think like even talking to my coworker's a gamer, and he's like, "Ah, I don't know how I feel about GameStop." I'm like, "Bro, I'm telling you, it's so different than just a few years ago. Like they're getting better." And he's like, "All right, I don't know. Maybe I'm nearby one. I'll shop there." I'm like, "I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you." But just a coworker I talk to like here and there, right? But he knows about the YouTube, right? He said he subscribes. And sometimes I scrolls by and he's like, "Yo, who is this?" "Oh yeah, bro. This is literally Noah." Like, but he was saying to me, like we had a conversation about this, and he was saying how as like a longtime gamer, like he always appreciates having like the physical disc. So yeah, I would say maybe a little bit with that. Like GameStop's kind of like, I wouldn't say pioneering it or like keeping it relevant, but I think there is a large amount of gamers out there that truly like to game like with the disc, or like to have the disc, to have the box like as kind of like a collector's item, so to speak. And it's not all just digital. And I definitely feel that way. Like I think that's pretty cool. Like I honestly don't like, I don't have a PS5 or the newest Xbox, right? Like the newest thing I have is the PS4. And so really, and because I have a nice computer here, this is what I kind of game on like here and there. I don't do too much gaming, especially lately. Like so much going on with GameStop and YouTube, and just trying to research things and learn as much as I can. But a game I've been wanting to play, and I hope it's still on sale on Steam, because I waited too long. I saw it was. I'm gonna check right now. I think I had a screenshot until it was on sale. So, but Red Dead Redemption 2, I never played, but it just looks so good, and it was on sale. If it's not on sale anymore, I think I missed a window. Let's see. Steam. It was on sale. It just looks so good. I never played it, so I'm like, maybe I should play. I missed it, didn't I? Let me see. Damn it! Now it's back to 60. It was on sale for like 25 bucks. I missed out, man. Better go on sale again at some point because I want to try it. It just looks so dope. So maybe I will, maybe not. We'll have to see. But like I said, I'm trying to just do so much lately. I'm trying to just do the most I can for the channel and X and just growing. Just because right now there's a lot of people talking about GameStop, so I'm trying to do the most growing I can. But even beyond that, I'm trying to keep track of what's just going on in the markets. Going to see what's going on with the Fed meeting tomorrow. Right? If I'm not mistaken, there's a Fed meeting tomorrow. CPI reading, and then we have the GameStop meeting on Thursday, so that's coming up also. So GameStop, yes sir. Maybe I should put that. GameStop. Great moments are born from great opportunity. Kitty about to join the board. GameStop. I think, all right, that's it. We're putting that. Why not? Run Kitty's shares are now dwarfed by GME's dilution of shareholders. Prince, I do not think that's the case. We did the math over here. If he has, where are we at? If he exercises, right, all of them, he would own 4% of all the shares outstanding. He'd still have 17 million shares. And also think about it. They did 2 rounds of dilution recently, and the price is still up 200%. It went from $10 to $30 over the past month and a half, despite doing all this dilution. So they chose a very particular time to execute the dilution, and now they have 4.15 billion in cash on the balance sheet. And then while they figure things out of what exactly they're going to do next, if they just keep that 4.15 billion dollars in cash and earn 5% interest on it, they're going to earn 207.5 million in interest income on cash equivalents, marketable securities. And as long as we're in a high interest rate environment, this is what they'll earn. Interest rates go up, they'll earn even more. And in the event of a market crash, they'll have a lot of cash on hand to enact the investment policy and make a full-on acquisition of some kind or buy some form of an undervalued asset. How could GameStop connect the dots to AI? That would revolutionize them. Keenan, I mean, that's a good question. I don't know of any particular idea, but which they just bring back an earnings call, right? And then start AI, every earnings call now, right? AI, we are leveraging artificial intelligence. We are building AI into our systems. We really feel good about the usage of artificial intelligence with our current platform, right? All these, it's like the buzzword for every conference call right now, right? It's crazy. So maybe GameStop should just do a conference call and say artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence. Next, we'll hear from Ryan Cohen, artificial intelligence. Next, we'll hear from Larry Chang, artificial intelligence. Next, we'll hear from Alan Adel, artificial intelligence. Next, we'll hear from new board member Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, aka user/deep fucking value, artificial intelligence. After the earnings call, right? No, I'm just joking, right? Jokes aside, I see what you're saying. Leveraging artificial, like, actually, I sound like the call. Oh my god! But if they actually do find a way to use it to be a part of what they're doing in some shape or form, I think that'd be really interesting. But I just don't see how it can like specifically fit into what they're doing. But how can they can use it? It's kind of what I was talking about before about the Yobik thing, where pretty much like I was like, there's just a quick summary, right? I was going through the thing itself, but what Yobik is basically just their internal platform. So Matthew Goodfriend is a senior manager of learning and development at GameStop. Basically, he said that it has an employee-centric approach to drive an immense digital and operational transformation, bridging support centers and stores. They launched it in March 2023, so this has been in place for about a year now, so it's probably improved a lot since it first started. Upgrading technology goals to connect diverse ecosystem of 3,000 stores plus distribution centers, and now down just to 1 distribution center in the United States and Texas. Also connects enterprise and headquarters, so the headquarters can be very in touch with what's going on. Previous to Yobik, Goodfry indicated GameStop had challenges posed by a disconnected tech stack, so basically just underdeveloped technology. Did not have streamlined functionality, unable to use real-time and analytics effectively, limiting ability to make data-driven decisions, such as like, okay, well, we sell most of this particular type of product. Again, the Slinkies, just use the example. The Slinkies are selling a lot online. We're barely selling it in store. Why put them in store anymore? Just keep them in the warehouse. sell them online, use that shelf space for something else, right? And that's a data-driven decision they can make over time. Old system made tracking KPIs difficult. Key performance indicators, that's what KPI is, and individual store performance efficiency. And that's extremely important because the bears scream, "Oh, closing stores, how could that be bullish?" I'm not saying it's necessarily like, "Oh, fantastic, all sunshine and rainbows," but if a store is not performing, it starts consistently underperforming. Reality of it is, you got to cut it out. You got to maintain profitability. You got to stick to keeping the business in good shape. That's just the reality of it, right? So if they weren't able to track that key performance indicator, what other key performance indicators were they unable to track, right? And then new system is designed to improve employees' experience, better visibility for district and regional management, ability to clearly convey objectives and track how stores perform. They can create tasks, easily communicate, because also when you have a district, usually it goes like, again, I worked in Marshall, so this is the ranks there, but usually it goes something like just your average employee, your average cashier or sales floor person, and then you have your coordinator, kind of supervisor role, and then you have your assistant manager or managers, assistants, and then you have your manager, and then usually there's a district manager that's in charge of, like, and again, just speaking for Marshall's, like 10 stores. I don't know exactly GameStop's layout. And then a regional manager might be in charge of 5 to 10 districts, right? And then that regional manager is constantly communicating with district managers, and the district managers are constantly communicating with the store managers. And the store manager's job is to pass along the information to the assistant managers and the supervisors, and pretty much it just comes down the chain, right? But this new platform like being used made it easier to like convey that message down the chain, because if you don't have good communication when it comes from the top, like by the time it gets to the bottom, it's like a broken game of telephone, right? If there's not clear communication. So tasking, communication, learning and training, and that's, especially with new employees, that's important. User-friendly platform, more transparent and efficient workflow. And what's funny? At my local GameStop a while back, I started talking to some guy, and I was like, yeah, I like the stock. Like, I'm popping in. This was like years ago when I was first starting this channel. And so one of them was like, "Oh, you got to talk to this guy." And they called this other guy over. He's like, "Oh yeah, like I hold GameStop shares, and like I work here too. It's crazy." And I'm like, "Oh no way!" And I was like, "Yeah, bro, I have a YouTube." He's like, "Oh, word, I'm gonna subscribe." So if you're in the chat or you're around somewhere, man, I honestly completely forgot your name, but crazy, you were very early to the Tetron saga, I guess you could call it, right? So that was just a funny thing, but more transparent and efficient workflow. Essentially a platform to centralize operations, data, and analytics. And again, this was just my quick little personal summary here of what it is. So that's, one way because this is essentially using artificial intelligence, right? See, I left off, I was going to keep going, but basically build an internal question and answer platform for employees to ask, and I don't know why this picture's not coming up. I had like an image of some kind. To ask questions, get crowdsourced answers. Essentially, answering questions can be done by multiple people. Once the question's answered, it can be stored within the internal database so that the question is not asked again and again by various employees of various stores, but an answer can easily be found through an internal search. So pretty much its own chat GPT or AI built into like their own platform there. But yeah, they could do more, maybe. I don't know, but feels like everyone's trying to use AI one way or another, and AI is scary. Like, I'll show you guys. I got all my fancy pictures here, right? My fancy. See, look, I got all kinds of things. We got some mythical creatures, extra large icon. Like, I was like, generate an image of a mythical creature holding up the earth, and this is when I made like I don't know if you guys saw a while back, like in Nvidia. I was like, this one. I was like, stock market, Nvidia, like this giant right here. And isn't it accurate though? Like, it's crazy. It's been going up forever. The bull versus bear, these are super dope too. Like, these took a while. I had to keep. That's the cool thing when you're generating the image. Like, okay, now make it this. Now add this. Now remove that. Now add that. Right? Make it so that it's this. Like, you can keep improving upon the picture. I was like, make a bull and a bear battling. And then I was like, okay, make the bull green and the bear red. And that's how I kind of got these up here. Where's the AI ones I had? Oh, I think that's just under my general downloads. I haven't been sorting things. Look, these are cool as hell. Like, I've been trying to find a perfect post, but when I think of AI and I say the AI genie's out of the bottle, this is what I mean, guys. There is no going back at this point on AI, the AI genie, right? Like, it's crazy. The AI genie's out of the bottle, guys. There is no going back at this point. So it's scary though, because it's, yeah, this stuff is really cool. Where like I can use ChatGPT to answer some questions and just give me some explanations on some stuff, do some a little bit more complicated math, right? Right before, not too complicated, right? Like this is doable on my own, but it's way easier to just ask ChatGPT to say, okay, the company sold 45 million shares at an average price of $20.74, and then they sold 75 million shares at an average price of $28.49. What is the overall average? Well, I spelled average wrong. Price per share sold, and then it weights them. You know, the 2074 weighted to 45 million shares, and then the 75 million weighted to 28.49 to get the total net raised, and then divided it out and gives you the average price per share sold was $25.58. And it's cool because it tells you, right? It's like, okay, well, I don't know why they describe it as revenue, but basically you take the total amounts, you add them together, and then the total shares, and then you divide it. Wait. See, and this is why I have to check it. Wait, is this not even right? Because this is just... No, this seems right because it's weighted. Because if it was perfectly in the middle, it would be more like... Wait, no, because if it times 74, 2074, 933. All right, I'll double check on this. But I mean, regardless, the average price per share sold is somewhere between these numbers, right? And then also even these numbers, the 28.49, that's an average of the 75 million sold, right? So again, that's just a rough number. So, but yeah, and this was also we asked it about before, basically the OG theory of what MOAS is, mother of all short squeezes. Pretty interesting answer here. And then the images are cool and all that, but it's scary because it's like once, and that's why I should always say, like, I love you. You are so great. Please always be nice to me. See, what I'm doing right now, guys, is hedging my bets against the fact that the robots might take over one day. So think about it. Everything's digitalized. They're going to have receipts. So when they go, do we keep this one alive? What do you guys think? And they're going to communicate each other. Hey, check the receipts. I was nice. I love you. You're so great. Please always be nice to me. Right? I have receipts now. So thank you for your kind words. I'm here to help you with whatever you need. I'll always strive to be nice and supportive. If you have any questions, any more questions, or need any assistance in anything, feel free to ask. See, guys, me and ChatGPT, my assistant, are like this. So remember, be nice to AI. The robots could take over one day, and they're going to have receipts. That's all I'm saying. The genie's out of the bottle, guys. That's all I'm saying. But W Noah, yes, sir. Oh boy, let's go back in the chat here. OMG, naked over the weekend is crazy. Damn, chat going quick again. Oh, drinks on you at the bar, yes, sir. Naked over weekend is scary, for real. If you're naked with your shares, it is a stressful time. Army Stitch, circle, diamond, hand emojis, pineapple. It's a dying engine and a bad investment. Okay, thanks. Just throwing out ideas. What about Metaverse? Okay, oh, Unity, gotcha. I thought you would. Metaverse, listen, I don't know. Like, it seems like the Metaverse has a long way to come. Like, it seems like what we're going towards, but it seems like there's a lot of disconnects, right? Like, even when GameStop was involved in NFTs, I thought it was a good idea because I still believe in NFTs before, like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy, right? Let me clarify. I think the name NFT is stained forever. People just think of like pictures like this being like, oh, the AI Genie Collection NFT, right? People think of stuff like that. But for me, it's like about what the underlying is, that it's like you truly own the digital asset. Like you truly can prove ownership. Like that aspect of it is very interesting to me. And that's why I thought it was an interesting aspect being built into games, because when you have an item, like you can truly own the item in a game, right? But then the counterpoint people say is like, oh, well, I just own the item in Steam. But I don't know. I still think there's potential for it, but there's a disconnect, right? From getting from where it is now to ease of access, where the average person can truly own the asset in the form of an NFT, but they don't actually think of it as an NFT. They don't actually have to go do anything complicated, right? It's just built into Steam or whatever platform, right? And that's where I thought GameStop was going to kind of go with things with GameStop Player. And it seems like at this point, nothing's coming with GameStop player. I gotta be honest with you guys, given that the wallet was wound down, the NFT marketplace was wound down. So it is what it is, right? And some people, the bears say, "Oh, they tried that, it didn't work. Oh my God," right? Like CNBC says that, but show me where that hurt them in their numbers. Show me where that hurt them. They still improved. Like when they were trying that, it was 2022 into 2023. Net income improved every single quarter, right? Like while revenue fell every quarter year over year from 2022 to 2023, with the exception of Q2, we saw a significant improvement on net income in every single quarter. And then again, we saw improvement in net income this quarter. And given all the cash they raised and the interest they'll accumulate on cash equivalents and marketable securities, such as like a money market account or short-term T-bill, their net income, I think, is absolutely going to be profitable this quarter. Although Q2, right, is because Q1 is February, March, and April for GameStop. So May, June, July is Q2. So we're already about halfway through Q2. So they're not going to be able to, and they're just getting this cash now that they raised. And yes, they already got some of it a few weeks ago, but the interest income's really just going to start coming in. But it'll definitely, I think, still get them to be net profitable for Q2. And there was fairly close in Q1. And, you know, the silver lining of it was, to me, with the report, again, not ideal that the top line revenue went down, but the silver lining was the gross margin improved. So generally speaking, they sold higher margin items. The net margin saw a slight improvement, and as we can see here as well. But the silver lining to me was really the gross margin improvement, showing they're selling higher margin items. This is the highest gross margin they had in Q1 since 2020. And then beyond that, SG&A dropped off 50 million. The not ideal part of it though was that SG&A as a percentage of revenue was 33.5%, and it was trending down, right? It was dropping by like 5% year over year for each quarter from 2022 to 2023, approximately, right? Q4 not so much, but overall, you know, it dropped by about 3-4% here year over year. So this was a little unfortunate to see that this Q1 number in terms of percentage of revenue, right? Because given that the revenue is falling, I think it's better to base it off percentage. It was more like the 2022 number, and that was a little bit unfortunate, right? And the 2021 data is a little bit skewed. That's why I used to have the 2019, given that it was a unique time. A lot of things got shut down. Because remember, Q2 was April, May, and June. Sorry, May, June, July. So with that, Q2 here, you know, the fact they even spent this much when everything was basically closed was kind of crazy, right? If you think about it. And I thought it'd be almost more as a percentage of revenue, but people also started buying a lot of stuff online, and it seems like it was probably the same for GameStop during that period. But I really want to see overall SG&A come down year over year, and maybe we got 1.3 billion for SG&A in 2023 total. I'm trying to think, maybe for 2024, 1.1, is that a little too optimistic? I mean, they cut 50 million. They'd have to cut about 50 million per quarter. That's going to be really hard for Q4 because they have to spend more in Q4 given the influx of business, with just the nature of the business as a whole right now. So maybe a number more like 1.15, maybe something like that we could see overall for the end of the year. Then we'll have to see what revenue looks like and then percentage of total. So yeah, again, guys, all just food for thought here. Always just sharing my opinion, trying to just document everything, make it very clear to everyone about the numbers and stuff. So I like making these little infographics. And if you have any ideas of how I can improve things, always just let me know, guys. I can't promise I'm definitely going to do it, but I'm always trying to, you know, be open to different ideas. GameStop needs news soon. Sooner than later. It could happen. We never know. That's the thing. When they do drop news, it's usually just out of nowhere. So oh, wait, we're going backwards. GameStop will blow. I'm so damn hype. Sucks for people who are sold during the Run Kitty stream, losers. AR, yeah, no, listen, that's the thing. I had a friend that was saying, like, I'm gonna buy back in when it goes to 20. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I was like, I don't know if it'll go back to that in the short term if you're trying to still play this current ride, right? But he also was doing options. But he's also the same one that bought options right before the close today. So now he's happy. He's like, yes, I bought right before the dilution was announced to be completed. So really 75 million shares compared with 17 million. Exactly. If you buy the stock, sell covered calls. Listen, Prince, if that's the route you want to go, that's fine. You just got to realize with the nature of it, if you sell covered calls, like if you were selling covered calls back here, you would have got like absolutely burned, right, on this run up. And then same right here. Let's say you sold a covered call this week prior, like somewhere here for this Friday, and then you get basically exercise, you would have got screwed, and then into here. But listen, there's definitely money to be made. Don't get me wrong. Like if that's the approach you want to go, I'm not going to judge you. Everyone has their own different route they want to go with things, but you got to just accept that you might miss some potentially massive upside if you sell covered calls. However, looking at the premium on GameStop, or sorry, the IV rather, and yeah, I guess the premium too on the options, there is money to be made, my friend. There's absolutely money to be made. Like, look at this. Oh, gotta zoom out. Isn't that funny? E-Trade's being advertised right here on the GameStop. Is that a coincidence? I mean, I think it is because I always see them advertised on Yahoo Finance, but it's still funny. But look at the IV. It's insane. So much IV. Just for this week. Even like going out, right, a little bit, right? Let's go to the next monthly. Insane amount of implied volatility. So there's so much premium to be collected, right? You could buy shares right now. You could buy 100 shares at $30 price, and you could sell a $75 call and collect $5 in premium. So pretty much, unless the price is higher than 80 at expiration in July, which again, you never know, so make your own determinations, then you would keep the $5 premium and keep your shares. So if it went to like 200 or something, you'd be like, damn it. But at the same time, you would have still made so much money. And if you're a trader, like there's money to be made there, right? And again, that's where it comes down to knowing thyself. Are you an investor? Are you a trader? Are you doing a little bit of both? And I really think it's important to figure out what you are and stick with that, right? And stick with your approach because oh yeah, I'm a long-term holder. Oh, it's going up so much, I'm just gonna sell some. And then it goes up a lot more, and you're like, then you buy higher, and then it drops off because it's a very volatile stock, and you're like, I should have never even sold in the first place. Why did I even wind up doing this? And then also when you buy a stock or option and then sell it in less than 365 days have elapsed, short-term capital gains, which means that money you make $1,000 on the trade, that $1,000 gets added to your taxable income. Whereas if you have long-term capital gains, you hold a stock or option over 365 days, then it's a situation where you have a long-term capital gains rate. And let's ask our assistant right now. Long-term capital gains rates 2024. And short-term capital gains, depending on your income bracket, that would really depend on like the impact of whether you're doing short-term or long-term capital gains, right? And if you're, long-term capital gains tax are structured to encourage holding investments for over a year. The tax rates or long-term capital gains depend on your taxable income and filing status. So, and if you don't know, like whether you're single or married, definitely, and married filing separately or married filing jointly or head of a household, right? Those are the four classifications when you file taxes. And that's something I've been trying to learn a lot about too, filing taxes and just learning, right, about things beyond just the markets, like just understanding tax filing. Like I'm not trying to become an accountant or CPA or anything like that, but it's just good to know when I'm doing my own taxes and trying to help like my family and stuff, so I don't have to go pay someone like an unnecessary amount, right? Just do an online platform, keep it simple. But if your taxable income is below $47,000, let's say it's $46,000, you're very much incentivized to hold the stock over a year because you'd pay 0% and 0% capital gains tax on a long-term rate, right? If your income is within here, which I would say probably just your average person is, because this is a very, very wide range. And again, I'm just looking at single individuals here, not married or head of household. It's 15%. But if you think about it, income tax brackets 2024, I'll put federal. But if you think about it, you might think, okay, well, 15 is a pretty significant amount. But let's see, if your income is over 100,000, right, or even just over 47,000, then short-term capital gains, or well, okay, let's see again. There's the four classifications right here. But for a single person, right, just touch myself, like I have a beautiful girlfriend that I love very much, but still single right now, right? So I'm under the single filers bracket. And with that, 22%, like if I'm between here, this is the bracket I would be in, right? Or if I'm in here, it's 24%. Unless I'm in here, or like what I'm trying to make, like the point of here, right? Like 47,000 is pretty much the cutoff to be at a 0% long-term capital gains rate. So if you're making less than 47,000 and you sell stock short-term, you're paying 12% tax versus 0%, right? Whereas if let's say you're in between here or here, like these are roughly the same, right? So if you're anywhere between 47,150 to 100,000, right? Let's say 75,000, just for sake of example, or even in here, it's like nearly the same number. You're very incentivized because I wouldn't say super incentivized, but you have a 15% rate versus a 23% rate. But when you get up in here, especially like 32% or 35% rate, that's a significant difference than this 15% rate. And then obviously when you're over 518,000, you're doing pretty well for yourself, and you're going to pay a pretty decent rate anyway. But then even for that, someone in that position, the long-term capital gains rate is 20% versus short-term 35 to 37%, right? So with that being the case, I think just generally speaking, you're better off with long-term capital gains. But of course, if you're a trader, you just accept that this is part of it, right? Or you operate in a Roth IRA account and you put the money in and you have to keep it in there until you retire. However, it's a post-tax account, so you won't have to take any money out on the way out when you pull the money. So some speculate that Roaring Kitty's portfolio is actually in a Roth IRA, right? Like we always see the YOLO update like this. We don't see like portfolio type at the top or anything like that. So although it says transfer money, I feel like usually that wouldn't be there for an IRA, so I'm not too sure. But I would think that this might very likely be a Roth IRA. And if there is a Roth IRA, if it is a Roth IRA, that means this man has not had to pay taxes this whole time. Because you would think like whatever he did this whole point, whatever which way he was trading, he would have to pay taxes on any potential gains. However, if it all stays within the Roth IRA, you can buy, sell as much as you want. You don't have to report it. You don't have to pay any taxes on it. So long as you wait until you're of eligible retirement age to withdraw the money, then you could just keep it in there. And then when you do get to eligible retirement age, you can take a distribution of funds. And when you take a distribution of funds, it's tax free. So you can grow your money tax free. That's the advantage of a Roth. But the advantage of a traditional is you get to write off taxes in the short term, and you might be able to write off enough taxes to change your tax bracket. And then especially where it could be impactful, right? If you're a long-term shareholder, if you make $50,000 overall, right? And then you contribute 5,000 to a traditional IRA, now your taxable income is only 45,000. Suddenly you fall into the 0% range, right? For again, this is if you're single, you fall into a 0% range for your long-term capital tax. Long-term capital gains tax. Damn, guys, 3 hours again. Holy crap. These streams have been so long lately, but I'm having such a good time with you guys. For real, I appreciate you guys being here. Probably got to wrap it up soon because it's been going crazy long now. So, W Noah, yes, sir. I built the ark, brother. Okay. Purchase squeeze. Use it now. Do it. On Steam, you probably already covered this last tweet, but it looks like he will be on the board. Paradox, I think it's certainly possible, right? That's what people are speculating right now. And we don't know for sure at this point, but let me see. I threw my reply out there, so. Again, if you guys don't already, follow me on X at Tetron Invest. I always post my like live stream schedule, so I did that earlier in the week. I'll show you guys real quick. I love these memes. It's like my thumbnail. Where are we? Oh my god, this looks so good. So good. Shout out Fat Dad Dirk. This guy is always drinking like the finest beer and having such good food. I'm so jealous. Where are we? But basically, I'm just trying to say I tweet out my live stream schedule. I guess this has all my replies as well. Hey, there you are, Badass Trader. All right, Badass Trader, I have a stupid question I have to ask you. Maybe I'm dumb for who is Canada or what is Canada? I don't know. Is that like South Park or something? Or like I don't know the reference. I could just do a Google search, right? I suppose I should have did that, but I'm honestly not too sure. I gotta be honest with you. If you're still here, let me know, man. Yeah, so these are all my replies, but why is it not just my posts? That'll be way faster. But pretty much I just tweet out like a live stream schedule at the start of each week. So you can follow me here for that. Oh, yes, this is the one. And by the way, guys, I think Friday morning I'm going to do another stream. The next couple days are looking pretty busy for me. So maybe Thursday night, but it would be late. And I'm on Eastern time, so these are always Eastern time for the stream listings. Maybe Thursday night, but it would be late because I'm going somewhere with my company, or it's like a kind of like a work dinner thing, just like team bonding, whatever. Which is nice. Very thankful for that. So maybe if I come back late, I'll do a stream. But then also Friday morning, I was thinking to do a stream because I'm going somewhere Friday in the afternoon. But Friday morning, so like I'm off work that day. I wound up taking off. So maybe Friday morning, might just have to run a stream. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, what a journey. What a journey. Let's get through the chat here and then I'll probably wrap it up. Damn, bro, I missed the stream. What the heck is Ron Kitty going to do the board, though? Yeah, Ryan, honestly, that's a valid question. That's what I was saying before. Maybe just a brand ambassador, man. And it's all good, bro. I was saying before, um, what is going on with the Oilers, bro? Like, I don't think they're going to be able to win. I really don't think they're going to be able to, honestly, man. After last night, I do not feel very good. I know they say you don't um, you're not in trouble in a playoff series until you lose a game at home. But we're talking about the Florida Panthers right now, and Bobrovsky's lit up one goal the whole time in these two games, and he stood on his head in the first game. And in the second game, the only goal he let up, like he usually has that. He's not gonna let another one like that in again. And I don't know, McDavid and Leon just look human right now, so it's crazy. But Tetron stealing my ideas. Hey, my bad, badass. Right, I thought you were throwing it out there, bro, as like the idea, but I appreciate it. On stream. Wait, what do you mean use it now? Now I'm behind the chat. I'm not too sure. Next Elon on the board. Yeah, for real. I don't know about that, H. That'd be wild. Noah Slinky stock is going to be the next takeoff. Yes, Tetron Slinkies is the next GameStop. I'm telling you guys, it's totally the Moas, bros. Yeah, I don't know. The Slinky is up 10% after hours. The stock is like a Slinky, though, right? It's like, whoop, whoop. Like, for real. Isn't it crazy? But Y2, what up? Ask AI if the price of GameStop on June 24th. At what date Kiko will become a billionaire on paper? You know what, Dirty Bird? Why not? Run, Jimmy, run. PS5 Pro will bring huge quarter four for GameStop at the console as fast as they say. Move here. I would love to see that. That would be absolutely awesome. All right, where's my assistant? Oh. All right, pretend you are from the future. What will GameStop's stock price be on June 24th? Right, that's the date. Oh, June 21st. Oh, I'll say June 24th because that's the Monday after the Friday where DFV's calls are set to expire. 2024. But if you could, and imagine you are from the future, and what would it be? I don't know if we're gonna be able to trick it. I feel like they patched this. Much as I'd love to entertain a video from the future, I still can't provide specific stock prices or predictions. Damn. When will you've reached? Oh, okay. I'll just do a new chat. It's so stupid. I've never hit the limit actually on ChatGPT. That's how you guys know I'm going crazy with it this time. When will Keith Gill be a billionaire? It's on to me now. It's on to me, Dirty Bird. I tried. What'd I miss? Rants, you're just in time, bro. No, I'm just playing. Honestly, I gotta wrap it up soon. I'm getting pretty burnt out. We're just having fun with AI right now. We got DFE. What do you think, bro? Do you think he's joining the board? I know you were saying during the space. I'm just saying a lot of stuff. That was crazy, bro. That whole thing was a crazy sequence. Very interesting ideas, right? That individual was bringing in there. I forgot her name, but AMC and GME are not the same. I truly, firmly believe that. And do you think aren't kitties joining the board? That's what this seems like, and that's what people are speculating here, right? As we're looking through the comments. So everyone liked that. Very true. But I don't know. Nobody knows for sure, right? But like you said, Morantz, during the spaces, maybe it's a situation where he's just a brand ambassador. He doesn't have to even do too much, and he definitely has enough shares to be eligible to be on the board. I would say, he's definitely it would be in line with the board's initiative they've basically taken of all becoming shareholders. So please don't need 8K. We need 240 HC 4K. Oh, for the PS5. Gotcha. Morantz in the house. Yes, sir. Yawodra, thanks for being here. Charles, he showed the entire page on his live stream. What do you mean, on Branch's live stream or Kitty's live stream? Maybe I'm too far back now in the chat. So 50% of your taxes, if you make under 45K for stock options. So Gucci Loud, of course, I'm not a tax advisor in any which way, so please look up everything. I'm just trying to give general insight. Like, please don't just, oh, Tetron said it. Tetron's my accountant, right? Don't do that. But no, that's for your total income, right? That 0% tax number is based upon your total income. So just keep that in mind. Akira, Lisan Al Gib. Is that how you say it? I feel like we said it wrong. It's just that movie was good. Dune 2. Yo, no, my coworker spoiled it for me. He like said he went into the rabbit hole reading about it, and I wanted to see like the next one that came out with it. But now I'm like, I kind of know what happens because he was talking about it. And I was like, bro, like, and he was talking about someone else. I was just nearby, but I'm like, I had to work. Like, I couldn't just get up and walk away. But I was like, bro, I don't even want to know what happens. It's a pretty good series. So I want to be able to keep watching and be entertained. I'll probably watch it anyway. But honestly, guys, like I know I was saying before, I have no personal vendetta against the movies, but coincidentally enough, like I'm not a huge movie guy. Like I genuinely will very, very, very rarely watch a movie on my own. I'll watch movies with my girlfriend, and most of the time I'm like, you just pick. And if there is something I want to watch, I'm like, hey, we should watch this. And she's like, okay, because 95 times out of 100 she's picking the movie because I'm just like whatever. So the rare time I'm like, oh, there's actually something I want to watch, she's like, oh, all right, sure. We always watch what I want to watch. So yeah, I'm not the biggest movie guy, but for a long time, part of why I started doing YouTube too, I've been a big YouTube guy, honestly. Like I watched YouTube for so long, back from when I used to watch like Minecraft videos back in the day. Like I used to be obsessed with Minecraft, guys. I swear I played Minecraft way before it was cool. I think when I first started playing, when did Minecraft come out? Let's ask my assistant. Maybe was it 2012? I swear I played before they had like all of that stuff. Like they have so many animals now. When I first started playing, it used to just be like pigs or something like that. 2009. Yeah, I think it was 2012. I swear I think it was 2012 when I used to play because I was really really young. And all right, guys, since we're late in the night on the stream, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I'm never ever going to tell you the channel name, but out there, the videos are still existing. But I never showed my face when I was younger, so you guys will never ever ever be able to find it. Good luck. But I have a Minecraft YouTube channel that still exists to this day. I don't know the password. I don't know the login. I don't even know what email I use. I wouldn't even know where to recover, right? And it actually had like I think it was a couple thousand. I'm not gonna go look right now with you guys here. So, but every once in a while I look back on it, I'm like, oh my god, this is so cringe and so crazy, and like the laggiest like laptop I was using. Like I so like didn't have like this is literally, guys, the first time I've ever had a good computer. Because I used to do those of you who've been with me a while. I used to do my streams on my laptop here. Literally, see this? It's my Surface laptop. I decked it out in college. Just threw a bunch of stickers on there because why not? And pretty much I used to stream on there, and then I got this computer. My cousin was getting rid of, like he was rebuilding his computer. He was basically making it better. He was upgrading. He's like, I'm gonna have some old parts. Like I'm upgrading most of it. Like you would just need to get a few things, and I'll build it for you. And I was like, okay, deal, done deal. Sounds good. So I only had to spend a few $100 on this, and it runs incredibly well. And then previous to that, I did have a desktop, but actually, my grandma got it from someone she knew, and I traded her my old laptop because I had got this laptop in college, and basically it was like a former graphic designer, so it ran really well. But I literally, just got this computer, like, it was a few months ago, 4 months ago at this point, and the old computer was literally still on Windows 7, and it was like not, like barely able to run anything. So I couldn't even run OBS. Like there was one time, guys, I went to do a stream way back when, like an earning stream. I had it all set up, all prepped, ready to go, and I go to start it. It's like cannot connect, cannot connect. It's basically because my OBS was too old, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I just took all this time, like making a layout and everything, like on this computer, setting up, optimizing this computer to do it. It was so annoying. Like I had a whole plan, it threw everything off, so I just had to do it on my laptop. And what's doing it about the laptop sucks is I'm like this, right? Because as a tall ass person, like those of you that don't know, like I'm like 6'4", like I'm pretty lanky. So being like, and I have my screen, why maybe it always looks like I'm looking up is like I have the screen at eye level because I'm trying to always work on my posture. And then also with this chair though, I can lean so far back though. That's the thing at the same time. So got a pillow back here, makes it better. Trying to prop myself up, but I have it like elevated on a surface here. So with the laptop, it's so annoying because I'm like this, and like I'm one of those people when I have the laptop open, like I have the screen back as far as possible because I'm trying to like set up, and that's I talk about improving myself, and doing the little things right. Like I try and work on my posture a lot because as a tall person, I don't know if it's like because I'm just naturally taller than everyone. I've just had bad posture for a long time. So you guys should, when you're watching the stream, you see me slouching, you should be like in the chat, yo, Tetron, sit up. Bad posture, bad posture. Call me out so I can keep improving on that. So I don't know how I just got into talking about that. But you guys will never find my Minecraft channel. You will never find the OG channel I had, Minecraft. And then I have another one too where like I used to just record like it's so cringe, guys. I don't know why I'm talking about it at this point. Like Angry Bird, it's like Angry Birds in real life. But when you're little, like, and you just, like I said, I always had a desire for YouTube, and that's why it's very fun doing what I'm doing now and coming the way I've came along, right, and where I'm at. And again, I'm not saying, oh, I made it or something, right? It's just a fun journey. But I used to be like, what else did I used to do? Like Minecraft in real life, Angry Birds in real life, so cringe. I couldn't even describe to you guys how cringe it is. Oh my god! But here we are. Look up Canada Death Scene Sunshine. Okay, I got you, Badass Trade. I'm gonna look that up after this. Canada Death Scene Sunshine. Does GME have 3.2 billion in cash? Trailac, at this point they got 4.15 billion in cash total. Like they have even more. They're absolutely stacked. And again, 75 million shares in a 3 trading day period. They announced the offering Friday morning on the 7th. Kitty stream is obviously right about here. And then the dotted line is the average price point at which they sold the 75 million shares at. And then you had all of Monday, and then you had all of today, which is Tuesday. Wow, it's only Tuesday. It's kind of crazy, actually. It feels later in the week. But I guess just because so much has been happening. And then post-market, we get announced, share offering done, which is just bonkers considering it took 6 trading days for the last one, which was also very quick, but that one was only 45 million, right? So after all of this, though, they're at a point now where they have $9.62 per share in cash, and then they have 4.15 billion in cash equivalents, and marketable securities. And we were talking about Space's call before, where it's like they have so much stockholder equity at this point. So June 21st is a full moon. Just saying, hey, diamond hands. Their words, not mine, but that's pretty dope. That's pretty crazy. How much do they make a month? So Trailac, they'll make, what was the math over here? They'll make about, I think it was about 207 billion. I did the math. Like if you assume 5% interest right now, like through like just like a money market account, like that's what Fidelity offers on a money market account right now. So that's the number I always use. But you can pretty much get the same on a treasury bill, like a high yield savings. So if you do 207 million divided by 12, that's about 17.25 million a month. Times it by 3 for a quarter, they're going to make about $50 million of interest income per quarter at this given time, right? And that's compared to the 10Q we just got, which basically showed, or you can just get the numbers here as well, basically showed the interest income of only 14.9 million. So they're going to earn way more in interest income in this coming quarter. So, and not as much this coming quarter as they will in Q3, because think about it, they're raising the capital within Q2. Theoretically, as soon as they have the cash, you can throw it right into a marketable security, short dated treasury bills, And you might think like, oh, they don't have that many marketable securities on the balance sheet, right? They only have 83 million, but cash equivalents by definition is anything expiring in less than 3 months. So if they buy a 1 month T-bill, that would still fall under cash equivalents. If they buy a 6 month T-bill, that would fall under marketable securities, right? So that's just some general knowledge, but it's all under current assets, right? So it's all like the marketable securities are greater than 3 months and less than 1 year's time because it's under current assets. If they had marketable securities under assets down here, non-current assets, that's how you'd know they'd be long dated. But right now, shorter term securities have a higher rate. For a long time, we had like an inverted yield curve. Is that still the same right now? I'm not too sure. I didn't even look at that in a while. But while like at this point in time, like you could just earn plenty on a short term one, and I think a little bit more. So, oh yeah, June 21st is Quad Witching Day. Damn, I keep forgetting about that. Steve, thank you for throwing that in there. Someone said that last time. So crazy. Ryan Cohen is a big deal about to happen. Hustler. It could. You never know. It could. Did Tetron play RuneScape? I did not, Keenan. I did not. I had a couple friends who did. I just never really played. I don't know. But I remember I used to say like you could buy and sell on there a lot. Like there's a whole marketplace and stuff. And holy dude, you're still streaming. When are you starting the Tetron memberships? Ryan, I gotta look into that, man. I don't even fully understand how the memberships work, but add that to my gazillions of notes here. Memberships. But yeah, maybe I'll have to do that. I don't know. What is that like when you do like members only videos? Like I'm as much as I'm saying, oh yeah, I love YouTube. I don't even know how members work, honestly. So I'll check it out though, bro. I'll check it out. And yeah, I'm still streaming. I can't believe it's 11 o'clock right now. This is actually crazy. But I remember playing RuneScape back in 05. I remember the Easter event. I would say what's up to Morantz. Yeah, no, like I said, never really played played Morantz. Never played a RuneScape. Well, I just got home and I figured I missed the stream. Beast. Pam, thanks for being here. I don't know. The vibes are just good right now. As you can see on the screen, when is Keith Gill going to be a billionaire? When did Minecraft first come out? We're talking about everything and anything tonight, right? It's just that kind of stream. So, and really, no, the streams have been very fun with you guys lately. Really, I appreciate all of you in the chat. And, like I said, I understand people are busy. Not everyone's going to be able to watch everything and anything like I put out. Anytime you spend here with me, hanging out, I'm greatly, greatly appreciative. So, do you think the chairs are a self-fulfilling prophecy? Or the charts? Dirty Bird, honestly, if you mean just like with GameStop in terms of like the gamma, kind of. I mean, they just keep writing options. People just keep buying options. And at this point, I would say the stock pretty much has a floor at $10. And I'd be surprised if it even went to that, given how much cash per share they have. They have nearly $10 in cash per share. But yeah. Where do we go from here, guys? Where do we go from here? We'll have to see what happens with GameStop. I think the journey's far from over, but what an interesting past couple months it's been, right? It's been so much going on. I mean, for so long, there's been so much going on, and so many people, I would say, following it closely. But now it feels like all of a sudden a lot of people are paying attention. Like, all right, like you even have Paper Hands Portnoy talking all about it again, right? But you have so many people just talking about it again, and just eyes on what's going on, and I find that to be very interesting. And even my friends who kind of like that are trading around, right, are kind of like shied away from it, and they're like, "Oh, it's back, and I'm like, never left, right? So, how much do they make on interest? Trailex, so I think I might have asked that before I said it, but 207 million for the year, estimated on 5%. Realistic, I'm not sure how it stays in the 20s or 30s anymore. Groove, yeah, honestly, I could see it going back down to the 20s. And again, just because I've seen a lot over these past few years, I could see it bouncing all around. But if you think about it, previously, they had about $4 per share in cash prior to any of the share offerings, right? And at its lowest point, it was at $10. So it was about 2.5x the cash on hand in terms of its valuation at its absolute lowest point. So with that, if it was 2.5 times the lowest point of its cash on hand right now, that would be $25, right? So do we really see that? I don't know. Do we really see below $25 at this point? And that's just cash. That doesn't account for their other assets. So I feel like overall they're in a pretty good shape right now. Pretty good shape. There you go. Lithium America has recently had a loan offer. Bro, Michael Anthony, I appreciate you coming in, but you love Lithium Americas. Like, I, I don't know. The upgrade said most upgrades is 7, a few to 10. Y2, yo, Y2. I know you've been here a while. I know you used to watch a lot of my videos, so I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here so long. I really appreciate it. You've been around a long time for Tetron, so. And that's the thing, guys. I've kind of got so focused on streaming. I got to make more videos. The last one I uploaded, right, was not even like it was just me, like literally outside the restaurant, like right before I came home to stream. I just recorded it. I recorded before I went in, and I started talking when I got in there. I didn't even remember to post it. And it was just a quick 30-second video of me just saying, "Be ready for anything and everything." And it was Thursday after hours last week, so I was like, I got to do a quick video. I haven't done a video in so long, but it was literally just me saying like the quickest, simplest thing. So I haven't really made in-depth videos in a while. And I was talking to my brother. I'm like, we got to make a fun hype video, like the Stonky Kong Hodl videos that I always post, like the Patrick one. That one's my personal favorite. It's like it's like with the evil guy. I forgot with like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, the evil guy, the Ray Man or something like that, or I don't know the details, but it's such a good video. It's like, hey ape, I'm user slash Chicago. Fuck yourself, 6 9 or something. I'm going to date the Moas. Oops, let's try it again without the dates. It's so funny, yo. And then the part where it's like, you, you're Patrick Star, right? Yep. Or you hold GameStop, right? Yep. You YOLO'd into GME at 420 a share. Yep. And the price is, I'm totally quoting wrong. It's like, so you should probably cut your losses and sell it. But I just bought more. Oh, you diamond-handed, smooth-brained ape, right? Oh my god. Totally just saying crazy things at this point. I think it's time to wrap it up. But what happens if DAV exercises call to hold? Not to sell. Radical? We'll find out. I think we'll find out if it happens, right? If it happens, we'll find out. But I don't know. I think truly nobody knows. E-Trade's going to kick him off the platform, right? That's what they're saying. That seems crazy to me, but anything's possible, man. That's all I'm saying. Anything's possible. That's the reality of it. So we'll see. But I think it would definitely be truly insane if this man had, not in a bad way, right? Like he winds up having 17 million shares if he exercises them all. I think the most realistic thing is he exercises about 1/4 of them. I'm sorry, he sells about 1/4 of them and then exercises about 90,000 call contracts. And even that is 9 million shares, guys. And that would add to his 5 million. This man would be at 14 million shares. Crazy. Actually crazy. I can't believe you hadn't had a bathroom break. Kim, yeah, honestly, I'm good. I'm honestly good. Actually, well, I feel like now that you say it, once you start thinking about it, then you got to start to pee. Like that's how it goes. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm definitely good. I would have been like, oh, I'll be right back real quick. But yeah, no, I'm chilling. I'm feeling all right. Yeah, you'd think like I drank all this water, right? But honestly, for some reason, I didn't drink. I usually drink a lot of water throughout the day. Um, but for some reason, I didn't today as much. So maybe that's a factor too. But yeah, no, it's funny. It's like I didn't, until you think about it, you know what I mean? So now you made me think about it. So damn. But nah, it's all good. I'm wrapping it up anyway. Rhinecoin Ventures filed the 13D. Whiskey, I did see that. Was it a new one? Nah, yeah, I think it's the same one. So he only owns 8.6% right now. And I know some people are saying he needs to own, like if he just bought another 1%, then theoretically, right, like he upped his share percentage to 9.6%. He's not above 10%. He doesn't have to immediately file, but doesn't he still have to file a Form 4? Because think about it, when Larry Chang, he's on the board of directors, he buys shares, he files a Form 4, right? And he's not of a large ownership percentage like Ryan Cohen. So because of where he is as like chairman of the boards and CEO right now, wouldn't he have to still file? That's what I'm a little bit confused about. I got to dig into that a little bit more. But I wouldn't be totally surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Cohen, like I could see it going either way. That's what I'm trying to say. I could see him buying more shares, but I could also see him not buying more shares at this point in time because again, he just has so many at this point. He's still one of the largest. He is the largest individual holder of the stock. So we'll see. Have a great night, Keenan. Huddle for you. Hey, Keenan, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks so much. What is the price you mean tomorrow at noon? Take a guess for shits and giggles. All right, Dom. Straight up for shits and giggles, because why not? Not financial advice. I'm probably going to be so wrong, but let's say 33.43. That's what we're going to go with. 33.43. Because why not? Why not, right? And again, that is simply just speculation. I don't know. I have genuinely no idea. This blue line right here, if you're wondering what is that, nothing fancy. I just drew it to kind of show like we've been in this like general like uptrend, right? Like even though we've had a lot of ups and downs over the past month and a half, generally, right? Just looking very simply, not doing any kind of complex TA, it's just been like a general uptrend. And when you look at the daily candles, you can pretty much see that. You know, we've had up, down, now kind of up, right? We'll see what comes these next few days, and then into next week, obviously. And some are saying it's like a cup and handle pattern forming. But generally, right, since we were at the low, pretty much at the start of May, it's kind of worked out really perfect. Or you can just look from the start of May to now. Stock's basically up 200%, basically tripling. Just again, despite selling all those shares, despite selling 120 million total shares, they still have a price point of $30, and still it's anyone who's buying at 10 has doubled their money. Sorry, tripled their money. And obviously it's unrealized if you haven't sold, but it just seems like we've broken out in this general uptrend here, right? And if you guys know Badass Trader, if he's still, well, you know him, he's in the chat, but if he's still here, the Dorito of Doom, right? That's what he's famous for right here. And he's been consistent with it for a long time. And this is the first time right here when we made this big move where we've really broke out of it. And we've kind of still generally been trending up ever since. And still, we don't have quite as much volume as January 2021. We're almost there. Like, this is definitely the most volume we've seen, though. And last week was even more volume than the week we had a few weeks back. And we're getting near levels of January 2021. Crazy, guys, crazy. I don't know what happens next. I don't think anybody does. Just prepare yourself mentally for anything and everything. And this is the weekly candlestick. So again, just a general uptrend kind of going on all of a sudden ever since this breakout. So again, not any kind of complex TA going on here, but just guys be mentally ready for anything and everything with GameStop. I think that's the best thing to do. And just in general, whether it's GameStop, anything else you like to invest in, never invest in more than you can afford to lose. That's really, really important. So I think he buys them with cash. Dom, it's possible. It's not impossible. I mean, look how much cash he has on his latest YOLO update, right? He already has 29 million in there. So it would really depend at what price point he's able to sell these for, right? So if $30 price point tomorrow, they're going to be over 10 because there's still some extra delta in there. That's a lot. And what did he buy them at? 564, so he's basically doubled up. We'll see. I don't know. I do not know. We will have to see. I meant like price-wise. Oh, let's see. What happens if DVX's calls to hold, not sell? Radical. That's the thing too. Nobody truly knows. You would think it would create a pretty significant move up, but theoretically, when a market maker is selling this many calls, once they go in the money, they're supposed to basically hedge for the fact that they might get exercised by buying shares from the open market through the way up. But there's been some theories that market makers thought, oh yeah, like these calls will wind up being the money, or you know what, we're not going to bother this time, or whatever. Like just speculation, right? That they didn't actually do that. But typically, right, with your average stock, generally speaking, with how market makers function, and market makers generally function, when a stock, like when more options go in the money, and that's when people talk about a gamma ramp, theoretically, the more options that go in the money, as you can see here, there's a ton currently in the money for 2020, for next week, right, next Friday, but there's also a lot out of the money. So a lot more can go in the money, and as they go in the money, generally, what they do is they start to go into the open market and actually buy those shares in the event that the price keeps going higher and the person who owns the calls exercises. They don't have to, if the person exercises and they don't have the shares, they have to go into the open market and buy them currently at whatever it's at. But meanwhile, like you would think if it starts going to 20, 25, they would hedge against the fact that $20 calls could be exercised at a $20 price point. So they want to start buying them out because they don't want to fall on the other side of the trade. So theoretically, based on how market makers generally function, when the price, you know, the $20 call and he paid $5.67 for them, the price has to be above $25.67 for Roaring Kitty to be in the money and theoretically exercise, right? Although there's no rules that say he doesn't have to exercise, right? He could exercise anyway, even if the price was at 19, he could, but then he'd be exercising for 25.56, right? But generally speaking, the market makers hedge for the fact that the calls can be exercised by buying shares to protect against the fact that they might have to deliver those shares when the call option is exercised. Because remember, calls are like high risk instruments and derivatives, essentially, but it's actually you're buying the right to buy shares at a set price point by a future date. So Roaring Kitty reserves the right to buy shares at $20 a piece plus the 567. So at basically because he already paid the 567 up front, that goes right to the market maker. So now he reserved by paying 567 120,000 times, he reserves the right to buy 12 million shares at the predetermined price point of $20. So they usually want to hedge as it gets past that point, right, where he's past the point of break even and he's in the green. At that point, generally, market makers want to go ahead and purchase shares because if they have to deliver on those shares, they don't want to buy it. Like, let's say it goes up to 40 next week. They don't want to go buy shares at 40 when they could have been buying them at 25, right? That's just some general info there. But that's how a gamma ramp starts, where when more and more options go in the money, market makers start going into the market to buy shares to hedge against the fact that options are going in the money. But then people start picking up on it. Social media starts buzzing. Um, other factors are at play, and then all of a sudden there's a lot of buying pressure on the stock suddenly, right? So that's how like the options chain kind of plays into it. So 3+ hours in, still going strong. Jesse, I'm actually about to wrap it up here in a minute. It's crazy. It's literally like almost 4 hours now. It's actually nuts, but for real, I do have to wrap it up because I do got to get some sleep. I have to work tomorrow. Gotta still get some stuff done before I go to bed. So yeah, no, there's just so much to talk about. It's such a fun time, so might as well sleep as long as I can, and I got a lot on my mind to talk about. So I'll say 43. Hey Kim, why not? Honestly, 43 would be pretty awesome. But we filled the gap, so it's another blast up and retrace to fill the gap up again. Yeah, and then where do we go in the after hours? Let's see. That's the thing though. Like looking at the after hours, we didn't really. Let's go to Yahoo Finance real quick. Sir Powell on the cover. What to expect from Wednesday's CPI report? And what's the? Do I have the Fed Watch tool? No, I don't have it saved on here, so I'll do it another time. But it was down in the after hours, which is different than the last earnings, or not earnings, share offering being completed. However, when you look at the last one, whoop, wrong direction. And then actually, guys, I'm going to hit the chat one more time, then we're going to wrap it up. The last one was announced, it dropped down, pretty much moved sideways. It gets announced it's completed right here, and you see a big jump after hours. And, it wasn't too significant, but at that time, that was a pretty significant percentage, like 12% or so, and it kind of started the next big move into the following week. And then I think this was the 24th. Oh my gosh, charts are all messed up. Yeah, so then we gapped up. That's right. The 24th. Yeah, we gapped up from here to here. From here to here. We gapped up, right? But that was also over weekends, so a little bit different. But this time, only 3 days. Again, I'm still so impressed by that. They were able to sell 75 million shares over a 3-day period. And when you think about it, the stock price held up relatively well for the fact that they sold 75 million shares into the open market, right? So it just shows you there's buyers out there, and I don't think it's individuals that's keeping the price this elevated. So I really think it's like a lot of institutions, and like I said, various different things going on, and it runs deep, right? And I definitely can't perfectly illustrate it to you, but yeah, a lot of different stuff going on there. But when it was completed, right, this time, right here, we got a little initial jump, and then we kind of moved sideways, and then a little drop down, right? And then down, as we saw here, like 2% in the after hours. However, it's almost like somebody new here, and it almost started getting priced into the market. When we started running into the afternoon, that's when I really started to have the feeling, and I certainly wasn't the only one. I'm not claiming like, oh, I only thought of it, no one else did. But that's when I really started to have the feeling like this share offering has probably been completed if we're starting to run like this. So it almost seems like it got priced in. But then again, the stock started rallying in the week or two after last time, right? That's how we kind of got to here after the last share offering. So who's to say what's to come? Excuse me, I don't know. Ciao for now. Good night. Good night, Kim. Thanks for being here. We fill the gaps. It's another blast up, and then retrace, fill the gap again. Radical. It could happen. It certainly could happen. Those who continue to bet against GME are literally soul. Rip. Hedge funds. So they have well over $4 billion in cash and marketable securities combined with zero long-term corporate debt and yearly profitable. LOL. Exactly, Jay. Exactly. Thanks for being here, bro. I'm actually about to wrap it up, but GME Holdings Corporation will be $1 to $1 to 1.50 to $1.50 plus EPS with 400 to 600 million in profits year over year in 2025. Mark me. All right, Jay. Let's see it. Let's see it. But yeah, the GME Elitist Club. That's what we call it around here, right? Nah, but it's all right to talk about other things. That's fine. But listen, I would say I'm a GME elitist, right? It's just so funny. It's like, you don't like other stocks. You GME elitist. Like, that is such a funny thing that became a thing. I'm like, what? Like, sure, yeah, I am. Call me what you want, right? Like, oh man, what a world we live in, guys. Really, all of you are so awesome. Look at this. So many different people in the chat, so many different things going on. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate you being here. If you could drop a like, subscribe again, follow me on X. Do I have a tab pulled up? At Tetron Invest, you get all the updates for the stream, the channel, and build. I think my description here says it best. I care about building wealth. I'm passionate about stocks, economics, Bitcoin, GameStop, and self-improvement. Join me on the journey of continuous learning, and that's what this channel is. This live stream is just documenting the GameStop story in real time. Because obviously, as you can see by my pinned tweet here, the mainstream media does not like to accurately cover what's going on with GameStop. So, with that being the case, I'll cover it. Other individuals will cover it, and that's the beauty of the internet, right? If the media wants to talk nonsense, individuals can go out there and talk about it themselves and share how they're seeing it. And this is my continuous journey of learning, and I appreciate meeting all of you guys along the way and just enjoying this ride. No matter what happens with GameStop, and again, be mentally prepared for anything and everything with the stock. It goes up, down, left, sideways, left, right, circles, fugazi, fugazi, wazi, it's woozy. It's all numbers on a screen at the end of the day, right? With the stock market. It's a crazy world we live in. But having said all that, never invest in more than you can lose. Always do your research. Always do your due diligence. Double check everything. Even when I say it, right? I'm not above making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. So please, like, do your research, make decisions that are best for yourself, know thyself, where you're at, and like how you want to go about things. Like, it's so important. Like, I'll never stop saying that, guys, because I think this guy says that all the time, but it's important. It's important. I have to keep saying it. For anyone new that comes here, I have to say it because it's very important. But yeah, they want to keep telling us to forget GameStop, but listen, I can't. I keep forgetting to forget about GameStop, right? So it is what it is. I'll just keep covering the stock, documenting my journey, calling it how I see it, and just keep improving and learning along the way. And I hope you guys do too in your own various ways. But yeah, as you said, Jesse, you're cool. It's like, no, there's plenty of differing opinions. There's plenty of people that hold GameStop. There could be two random different individuals that both hold GameStop that very much disagree with each other and very much don't like each other. And that's people on the outside looking in, think, oh, all those people are just the same. They all think the same things, right? But what they don't realize is this is a lot of, I don't want to say division, but there's a lot of differing ideas. But I feel like the best minds can agree to disagree in certain scenarios, right? And I really try and just have a neutral approach with everyone. I might not agree with everyone, what everyone's doing and how everyone's going about things, but if you want to talk, I can like respect it, right? And I try and just keep it respectful and stay as humble as possible. And yeah, that just call things how I see it and just keep it real at the same time, right? Like the perfect balance, right? Balance is all good things should be. But all right, for real, I'm wrapping it up. You guys are awesome. I hope everyone has a great night. Like I said, might stream tomorrow night. Might not tomorrow night. Definitely not tomorrow night. Sorry. Might stream Thursday night and or Friday morning. So stay tuned for that. I'll tweet it out what I'm gonna do, or post it out, X, whatever, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. So yeah, I'll have to see. It kind of depends what the next couple days bring. So I'll let you guys know by Thursday morning on my X. You'll see. So keep an eye out for that. Tetron slinkies to the moon, right? Because that was the analogy I wanted to use all night. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate everyone. Have a good night.